We are meant for more, made for more. We are unwilling to ignore that which calls to us, that which will transform us. With joy and curiosity, we will boldly find our path in a world of unknowns. At Carroll College, we are here for the adventure.
A hit in the morning, another between class, after school, and more before bed. Vaping sucks you in quick. Not to mention all the chemicals and health problems everyone's talking about. That's why thousands of teens are ready to take back their life their own way with My Life, My Quit. When you sign up with us, you'll get a free and simple quit plan that makes it easier to stop vaping. Visit mylifemyquit.com or text Start My Quit to 36072.
And zoom in like it's right on the player on the
Not all tires are created equally.
At Rock.
It's the game of the week, brought to you by the Montana Chevy Dealers. And sponsored by the Montana Tobacco Quit Line at 1-800-QUIT-NOW. Northwestern Energy. Pepsi. And Opportunity Bank.
And welcome everyone to Nelson Stadium on the campus of Carroll College. Rocky Erickson alongside Austin Parr. The Saints of Carroll up against the Mountaineers of Eastern Oregon. Austin, both teams picked up big wins last weekend. You were here in the rainstorm, on the sidelines, freezing, when the Saints shut out nationally ranked Rocky. Tell us about that.
Well, I was freezing cold, but it was a phenomenal game for the Carroll College Fighting Saints offense, which is something that has been a little bit of a struggle, up to this point. They moved the ball very well, but give more credit to that defensive line. Shut out one of the best offenses in Rocky and also held a triple to some really low numbers and picked up a huge win for the Carroll College Fighting Saints.
How good is that Saints defense? 2 straight games. They've yet to give up a touchdown for the Mountaineers of Eastern Oregon. They picked up their first win all year when they knocked off the lights of MSU Northern. Austin, second time these two teams have met this season. They had a close game at Eastern Oregon. The Saints won 25-23 on a late field goal.
The biggest thing for the Saints in that game was turnovers. Eastern Oregon turned them over 4 times, 3 interceptions, 1 fumble. So that's going to be something that Carroll is going to have to work on today. They do play a lot better here at Nelson Stadium. This should be a phenomenal ball game, and it's a must-win for Carroll. And for Eastern Oregon, they've got nothing to lose. They can pretty much, just be the upset factor at this point.
Well, College of Idaho losing at Montana Western opens everything up. The Saints still very much alive in that Frontier Conference race. We're here at Carroll College as the Saints on Senior Day host the Mountaineers of Eastern Oregon.
Chevy Silverado. It's got the power you want and the capability you need to do the job so you can get to the important work. Find new moments, find new roads. Get a $500 cash allowance on all 2022 Silverado pickups with a 2.7-liter turbo engine. Plus, now during truck season, get a $1,000 accessory allowance toward a new Chevy truck with accessories. See your Montana Chevy dealers.
Today's been good. I'm getting there.
People with mental health disorders who smoke can die 8 to 25 years earlier than the general population.
No more sitting on the fence. It's time to quit smoking.
Smoking can interfere with recovery and make psychiatric medicines less effective.
I'm taking the right steps toward my physical and mental well-being.
The Quit Line can help for a happier and healthier tomorrow.
I'm finally getting there.
We've been around for a while now, 100 years in fact, and in that time, we've weathered some storms, seen some changes. And while that's no small feat, at Opportunity Bank, we don't measure success in time. We measure it by the impact we've made. We measure it by the success of the families, communities, and businesses we've served. After all, to us, there's no better investment than the people of Montana. We're celebrating our 100th year in business, and we're calling it the Big 100. It's a celebration of this community, the good people who live here, and the businesses we've helped build across 100 years. We've been serving Montanans to the very best of our ability for the past century. And this year, we plan to tell 100 stories, share 100 lessons, and give 100 gifts. Here's to the next 100 years.
What a spectacular day at Nelson Stadium, Senior Day, as the Mountaineers of Eastern Oregon 1-7 on the year, up against the Saints of Carroll College 5-2, and still very much in that hunt for the Frontier Conference championship and a playoff berth. And the Saints are back in the national poll, ranked 25th this week, and you've got 4 teams in the Frontier ranked in the top 25. The College of Idaho dropped 5 spots to 12th after losing to Montana Western. Tech comes in at number 23. Rocky, 24th. They lost 10 spots after getting shut out by the Saints, 24-0. And I got to tell you, Austin, with all the rain from last Saturday, it's amazing how good this field looks.
It's just an adage to that field maintenance crew. We could not ask for a better afternoon here. Beautiful weather for a big game in the Frontier Conference.
Troy Purcell, head coach of the Saints in his third season, 12-5 when he was in Havre. They went 40-13. In Bozeman, they won 3 state championships in 2010, 2013, and 2015. Tim Camp, wow, the dean of the Frontier. 15th season. He's got 2 sons that play, a wide receiver and a tight end. 79 and 74 for Coach Camp. Game number 154 for him. And, Austin, is something you don't see a lot of, the longevity of being with one program for 15 years. Impressive.
That is absolutely impressive. And he's done a great job. The Mountaineers are such a great football program. I think they're building up to a legacy in the next couple of years. You're going to see this team be very successful in the Frontier Conference.
The coin flip, we're getting close to Halloween, aren't we?
I'm not sure what we have. We've got a T-Rex, and I think that is a hot dog. Looks like just mustard. What are you? You a ketchup mustard guy, relish?
A little bit of everything.
I like it. I like those grilled onions on there. Really tasty.
Both teams coming off huge wins. Carroll shut out number 14 Rocky 24-0. First time the Saints shut out the Bears in 10 years. And that Saints defense, they've not given up a touchdown the last 2 games. Eastern Oregon, they picked up their first win all year as they blanked the lights of MSU Northern 37-0. Of course, these 2 teams met in week 4. Carroll won 25-23 on a 33-yard field goal with 2:53 left. The 34th time these 2 teams have met. Carroll leads in the series 18-15. And the last time the Saints shut out Eastern Oregon, well, you got to go back to October 14th, 2006, when they won 34-0. Austin, who won the coin flip? Who gets the football to start this game?
Looks like the Saints are going to get the football to start this game. Let's go back to that matchup earlier in the regular season. A very wild finish. Eastern Oregon had a huge turnover late. They scored a touchdown. The extra point was actually blocked and returned for a score for Carroll College, which actually ended up winning them the game. The biggest thing for today to kind of look out for is that defense of Eastern Oregon against this Carroll College Fighting Saints offense, because Eastern Oregon produced 4 turnovers. Not something that this offense is used to. Look for the 2 running backs, Duncan Kraft and Matthew Burgess, to carry the load today for the Fighting Saints.
Perka struggled in that game at Eastern Oregon. He was 9 of 19, picked off 3 times, and a season low 113 yards through the air. Both these teams have struggled a bit offensively. The Saints averaging 24 points a game. Eastern Oregon averaging just 13. Now, there's 97 teams in NAIA football, and Eastern Oregon is 87th in points scored on the season. As we get set to get this game underway, Ethan Cutler to kick off. Eastern Oregon in the white, and the Saints of Carroll College in the purple. Senior Day 2022 here at Nelson Stadium on the campus of Carroll College, and that will be returned from the 7-yard line and out across the 20-yard line of the Saints offense. On the field, Matthew Burgess, he was honored in the pregame on senior night, and boy, I'll never forget what he did in that COVID year of 2020. They didn't play a lot of games, but he was simply spectacular. Their offense led by their quarterback, of course, Perka. Burgess, he has been very, very good in his career here at Carroll College, and of course, that starting center, Andrew Carter. Saints, first offensive play from scrimmage. They worked from the 25-yard line. Burgess will come in motion. And a play fake over the middle. Pass is caught. That's going to be good for about 5 yards. Okocha with the catch. And, boy, what a way to start for the Saints.
This is exactly what was successful for them last week, is getting the ball out of Perka's hands quickly as we look at that starting defense for Eastern Oregon.
And that starting defense, doubt not to, leads the team with 61 tackles. Number 17, he's got 2 interceptions. Mendoza with 4 interceptions on the year. Defensive back, number 23. It's going to be 2nd down and 6 for the Saints out across the 30-yard line. Burgess stopped behind the line, and that's going to be a loss of about 1. A long 3rd down play coming up here for Carroll College, and Cameron Rothie will come on. Tony Collins as well at wide receiver, and it seems like Tony Collins has been in that purple uniform for about 7 years. Not quite that long, but it's been a while.
Yeah, he's one of the main security blankets for Jack Perka. Coach Troy Purcell says his growth throughout these last couple years has been tremendous, and he is one of the better options for the Carroll College offense.
Chris will come into motion. 3rd down and 7 for Carroll, their first offensive possession over the middle. Pass is caught. Tony Collins, his defender went down. 1st down for the Saints out to the 50-yard line.
It's my favorite when something like that happens on cue. As we're talking about TC, Mr. Tony Collins being that security blanket for Perka, he sits in the pocket. Great job by this offensive line, giving him time to throw, and boom, he finds Tony Collins over the middle for a huge 1st down for the Saints.
The Saints have not had a receiver with 100 yards this season. Collins had 81 yards, 6 carries against Western. 1st down and 10 for the Saints, and an official timeout here as they adjust the chain gang. Big win for Montana Western last week as they handed the College of Idaho their first loss of the season. And, it's a typical year, Austin, where every Frontier Conference team just beats each other up, and you only get one team in the postseason. It doesn't seem fair. Play fake again. Gonna go deep to Rothie, just overthrew Cameron Rothie, and the Saints coming to the game averaging just 24. They went for the home run ball there.
Well, you were talking about earlier about the teams, beating each other up. College of Idaho came into here and really beat up the Saints a couple weeks ago, but that was a huge loss, which allowed Carroll to kind of climb back into the Frontier as Perka just misses Rothie on the home run shot, like you said. But this is a good start for the Carroll College offense so far.
Saints are 5-2. They've got 2 games left after this, which includes a game at the College of Idaho to wrap up the season on November 12th. 3 wide receivers to the right side. It's going to be 2nd down and 10. They're going to keep it on the ground. Burgess makes the corner. Burgess gets the 1st down to the 40-yard line. Matthew Burgess. Wow. 354 yards coming in. Going back to that COVID year of 2020, his numbers were outstanding. A flag is down. 169 yards against the College of Idaho. Went for 152 against Northern, 141 against Rocky, 134 against Eastern Oregon. Then I was here behind the microphone, 2021, first game. He had 86 yards on 7 carries when he hurt his knee, and he was done. The best game he's had this year, 107 against Eastern Oregon. And it looks like it's going to go against the Saints.
It's going to be holding in the backfield. But the good thing for Burgess there, he really showed that explosiveness that he does. It took him about 3 or 4 games to kind of get comfortable and get back from that knee injury that you were talking about. But he's been great for this offense.
Harrison is in at wide receiver. It's going to be 2nd down and 20 for the Saints, just underway here at Nelson Stadium. Perka is going to roll, gets it out to the tight end. Ochia breaks through, and that's going to be close to a 1st down. Looked like he stepped out a couple of yards short, and, hey, the big tight end's got some wheels.
I don't think that this defense was ready for that. 2 of the offensive linemen pulled out for this screenplay, and Perka does a great job of just getting this ball over the top of the defender. And once those 2 big guys are out there, all you got to do is follow your blocks, and you're going to gain a lot of yards there.
It's going to be 3rd down and 3 from the 43-yard line, and I'm thinking if Carroll comes up short here, they might just go for it. Andrew Carter, number 78. There's your center. Harrison, split out wide, the left side. Rothy to the right. Burgess back at running back. Burgess will get the call, comes off right tackle. He's not going to get the first down. Burgess is going to lose a yard. And Austin, now it's going to be 4th and 4, and here comes the punting unit.
Yeah, it's an interesting call on 3rd down and short. I know you want to establish the running game, but early on, that defensive line has done a great job at holding Burgess to pretty much little or no gain. The only gain he got was actually called back on a holding penalty. So we'll keep that in mind moving forward.
Out of West High, Spencer Berger, the punter and the kicker. West High's got another great kicker this year in Jacob Cowway. Robinson back to receive. Back at the 10-yard line, and Spencer gets that one away. Robinson calls for the fair catch. Now we get to see Eastern Oregon's offense for the first time as they take on a defense that has been spectacular. And they've not given up a touchdown the last 2 games. Iowa's Ann Haver in that victory against MSU Northern. Of course, Eastern Oregon led by their quarterback, Carson Bowing, and they have used 4 different quarterbacks this year. Aiden Patterson is their leading rusher with 224 yards on the season. He had his best game of the year last weekend when he went for 104 in that shutout victory against the Lights.
We just saw 4 people shift in that pre-shift motion. The Eastern Oregon offense is going to try anything as they have pretty much nothing to lose. They're trying to play a spoiler role today.
And Patterson with the carry, and Patterson is stopped. Offensively, it's been a struggle for the Mountaineers as they take on that great defense, and Coach Purcell loves that defensive line.
It all starts up front. I mean, Gary Warden and Garrett Kokab, those are your 2 leaders on that defensive line. And then you step back and you got Rex Irby as one of the middle linebackers. Tucker Jones has had a huge year for the Saints defense. And a couple of DBs, Zach Spearoff, also having a great year too. Look for that defensive line, though, to get push up front early.
2nd down and 9 for the Mountaineers. 1 and 7 on the year. They want to go to the air wide open with the catch. Blackham is going to have a first down. And Jonah Blackham, his 14th catch on the year, one of their leading receivers.
That was a great move along the outside. He put his foot in the ground, and the defender actually slipped on the tackle. He made a great move on the outside, picked up a good first down for the Eastern Oregon offense.
The Mountaineers averaging just 140 yards a game through the air, just 107 on the ground this year. And they get a first down. Spurrier will come into motion. Their leading receiver, 3 wide receivers to the right side. Quarterback Keep gets hit at the line, and Carson dives forward for a couple.
Rex Irby actually had this for a loss in the backfield, but the quarterback did a great job at creating more plays. And here we see, different offenses coming in. You're going to see different formations. You're going to see a mixed bag of kind of everything for this Eastern Oregon offense today.
2nd down and 8 for the Mountaineers. The sun's out. What a spectacular Saturday here in Helena. Senior day at Carroll College for this group of seniors. And they're going to go end around. Can Patterson make the corner? He does not make the corner. He is stopped. That reach that got him?
Jacob Reich on the outside. Did a great job trailing the play. It looked like there could have been a possible holding call on Garrett Warden. He had this play stopped dead to rights in the backfield. But they did, that Carroll College defense, they do a great job at swarming to the ball and kind of gang tackling.
Blackham split out wide to the right side. It's going to be 3rd down and long for Eastern Oregon. 3rd down and 11 here, and they run a wildcat. And with the carry for a gain of about 6 yards is Parker Robinson, the sophomore running back from LeGrand, Oregon, comes in the quarterback spot. It's good for about 9 yards, but a couple of yards short. And the Saints are going to get the football back. Well, Austin, not that surprising. We're witnessing a defensive battle early on.
That's led by that defensive line like we were speaking of. This is something that has been Carroll's success story last week. They shut out one of the top offenses in the Frontier. Big kudos to that defensive line of Carroll College.
Smith is back to receive the punt of Ethan Cutler, averaging 35 yards a kick. Good snap. And Cutler gets the kick off. It'll take a Mountaineers bounce, and what a bounce it is. Inside the 15-yard line, down to the 11-yard line. And the Saints will come out with their second offensive opportunity. 8:46 left, no score at Carroll College.
At Rocky Mountain Credit Union, we call this community home, just like you.
That's why we take a locally focused approach for our members.
Your financial success is our primary goal.
Whether you're refinancing your home,
buying a car,
starting a business,
or just need help with a checking or savings account,
we'll give you the financial tools you need to grow.
At Rocky Mountain Credit Union, we're here for all life's events, big and small.
Stop by your local branch or visit rmcu.net to learn more.
We are driven by an unquenchable desire for knowledge, for the truth that lay just outside our grasps. We are meant for more, made for more. We are unwilling to ignore that which calls to us, that which will transform us. With joy and curiosity, we will boldly find our path in a world of unknowns. At Carroll College, we are here for the adventure.
Since before the birth of America, the Army National Guard has stood ready to answer the call to defend and protect the nation. Army National Guard soldiers share in an enduring commitment to serve their state in times of crisis and defend their nation in times of conflict. The men and women of the Army National Guard serve part-time in their own communities and have a stake in its continued security. To learn all about the benefits of becoming a soldier in the Army National Guard, visit nationalguard.com.
And quarterback Jack Perka leads his team back on the field. First down and 10 Saints. They work from the 15-yard line. Andrew Carter snap back, and the pass is caught on the sidelines. That's Harrison. Harrison with his 17th reception and gain of about 5, and that's exactly how they started their first possession.
This is how this Carroll College offense finds success, is getting that ball out of Perka's hands quickly, and they've really done a great job at developing two freshman wide receivers. As you see here, this is all the freshmen. Get that ball out quick and just let your playmakers make plays in space.
It's going to be second down and 5. Rothy split out wide to the right side with Luke Jensen.
You've got one-on-one coverage out on the outside here.
Play fake, penalty flag is down, pass incomplete behind the intended receiver, Luke Jensen, and now you got more laundry on the field.
Might have been a helmet-to-helmet contact on the backside of the play, but that first flag's going to happen in the backfield, so these might be offsetting.
Second penalty of the game, 8:09 left to be played. Here in the first, a scoreless game. The 34th time these two programs have met. Carroll leads in the series 18-15. You know, when they won earlier this season in La Grande, Oregon, that win snapped a 7-game losing streak for the Saints against Eastern Oregon. That was a low-scoring, close game. 25-23 was the final, and Austin, tell us what's going on.
I think we, just like we talked about, we have offsetting penalties, so it should be replay the down, second down.
Second down and 5 for the Saints. They come in averaging 165 through the air, 130 on the ground, less than 300 yards a game, 72nd best in the nation. The pass a little bit behind the intended receiver, Harrison. It's going to be third down and 5 coming up here. Remember, Perka struggled the first time these two teams met. He was 9 of 19. He had 3 interceptions as the Saints gave the ball away 4 times in that close loss.
That middle linebacker who came in on the outside there is really what caused that ball to be thrown high. Perka, had to get that ball over the elevated hand, which caused Jaden Harrison to not be able to reel that one in.
It's going to be 3rd down and 5. Perka's 4 of 6, 46 yards on the afternoon. 3 wide receivers right side. Perka stays in the pocket. Harrison makes the catch, move the chains, 1st down. What I liked about that play, Austin, is Harrison knew where the 1st down marker was. He did not turn to look for the ball until he was at that 25-yard line.
This is exactly what you're taught as a wide receiver. You know it's 3rd down. You go find those sticks, and boom, your quarterback's supposed to hit you as soon as you find your spot. That's exactly what Perka did. Don't forget that running back, Mr. Burgess, picking up a huge inside blitzer there that gave Perka the extra time.
It's going to be 1st down and 10 for the Saints. 3 receivers to the right side again. And here comes Burgess, finds a hole across the 30, the 35, and gets spun out near the 40-yard line. Wow, what a nice run for the running back.
Got to give credit to this offensive line. It's a group that doesn't get enough credit. Offensive linemen, they never get mentioned as players of the game, but that's what made this run work. Look at that hole that he can run through. I could run through that hole. Maybe not as fast as Burgess, but big pickup there for that solid running back.
He had 107 yards against Eastern Oregon. That was his best of the season. Comes in with 354. New set of downs for the Saints. They work from the 38-yard line. And give it to Burgess again. Gets hit behind the line. Burgess is going down, and no gain, no loss on that play. Everett Willard with the stop.
Carroll loves to run this inside power, and the defensive line of Eastern Oregon loves getting it on the inside there, and boom, he just gets right in there, gets the pressure, takes Burgess down.
It's going to be 2nd down and 9. Rothy, Harrison comes up on top. Tony Collins to the right side. 2nd and long for Carroll. Play fake, Perka, all day. Pass dropped. Is it caught?
He caught it.
Oh, my. That was spectacular. Coachson, that was amazing, but a flag down on the play.
That's going to be after. So you're going to tack on 15 yards on top of that catch. Not only did he make a phenomenal catch, but Akolshin held on to this football when he got a helmet-to-helmet at the very end. Watch this. He bobbles it just a little bit. Ball's a little bit behind him, but he does a great job of holding on. And that player, you can't use the crown of your helmet to make contact with that offensive player. So that's going to be another 15 yards added on to the end of that play.
How about that offensive line? I mean, Carter, Quick, Koch, they're giving Perka all day long to find a receiver open.
But that's the same thing we just talked about 2 plays ago. Burgess, you got to watch him in the backfield too. He doesn't just do a great job running the ball. He's a great pass blocker, and that's what actually gave Perka extra time to find Akolshin.
A big gain and another 15 yards, and the Saints on their 2nd offensive possession inside the 30-yard line. 6:21 left to be played. Here in quarter number 1, no score. Saints can win out. Well, they've got an excellent chance at a berth in that postseason. But remember, their final game of the year, November 12th, up against the College of Idaho. And the way the schedule sits, I mean, it's just not fair. You got to play everybody, some teams twice and some teams only once. I wonder how they figure that out.
It doesn't really make any sense to me, though, but you're going to see those standings kind of shift again as Rocky and Tech are going to be playing today. And if Carroll does win out, and let's say College of Idaho does win out, that's going to be a phenomenal football game down in Idaho. And hopefully they ask me to go travel with the team and go cover that game.
Of course.
You don't think there's going to be a revenge factor for the Saints in that one?
Coach Camp on the field had a question. Here we go. It's going to be 1st down and 10. For the Saints, they work for the Mountaineers. 30-yard line. And end around for the Saints. The 30, the 25, the 20, the 15, the 10, down near the 5-yard line. Wow. Akolshin with the carry.
That actually got me. I didn't even see this coming. What a great play call on 1st down, this little end around to Alex Akolshin. I mean, just the blocking once again. You get those offensive linemen pulling, and look at those big guys out there. I would love to be running behind those 2 big guys. And a huge game for the Saints offense now inside of the 6-yard line.
A little trickery. It's going to be 1st and goal at the 5-yard line. And they bring in the fullback. Saints knocking on the door. High snap. Perka handoff. Burgess goes nowhere. He might have lost a half a yard.
This is exactly what Eastern Oregon does. They know to bring the house when Carroll is down here on first down. They know they want to run that inside power game with the fullback in the game. They just get that pressure, and Burgess goes nowhere. I think he actually lost the yard.
Now they might go to the air. It's going to be second down and goal from the 6-yard line. Perka 6 of 8, 85 yards on the afternoon.
Look for Perka to get outside here and on the backside find Tony Collins coming across the field.
Second and goal. And Perka's going to roll right. Perka's going to keep it. Gets back to the line of scrimmage and did not get in. And Tony Collins was wide open.
I think he just panicked a little bit here. He kind of saw these defenders coming at him, and he just decided to tuck it. If he just waited about 2 more seconds, he would have had Tony Collins wide open. He would have just walked right in the end zone, but brings up a big third down.
Third down and goal from the 6. Rothi will come in. They tried to run twice from the 6. Unable to get in. Now will they go to the air? Rothi, Harrison to the left side. Tight end to the right side. Perka fakes the handoff. Perka over the middle. Pass is caught. Touchdown. Hutchinson makes the catch, and the Saints are on the scoreboard first.
Freshman wide receiver does a great job at losing his defender in the backside of the end zone, and Perka actually did the opposite of the previous play. He held onto the ball, was very patient, let his offense provide that block for him, and found a cushion in the backside of the end zone.
Spencer Berger off of the PAT. Spencer, 14 of 17 on the year. Harrison to hold for the Saints. Snap back, hold is down, kick is good. And Carroll College out on top, 7-0 on Senior Day here in Helena.
I'm a design build contractor. Besides getting a permit, we make sure to call 811 before starting every job. It's difficult to tell where Northwestern Energy's natural gas pipelines are exactly. They could be right where we're digging, even if the homeowner doesn't use natural gas. And obviously, we don't want to cut off someone's power or cause an explosion. My crew is like my family. I want to keep them safe. If calling 811 can save their lives, that's an easy call to make.
We are driven by an unquenchable desire for knowledge, for the truth that lay just outside our grasps. We are meant for more, made for more. We are unwilling to ignore that which calls to us, that which will transform us. With joy and curiosity, we will boldly find our path in a world of unknowns. At Carroll College, we are here for the adventure.
A hit in the morning, another between class, after school, and more before bed. Vaping sucks you in quick. Not to mention all the chemicals and health problems everyone's talking about. That's why thousands of teens are ready to take back their life their own way with My Life, My Quit. When you sign up with us, you'll get a free and simple quit plan that makes it easier to stop vaping. Visit mylifemyquit.com or text Start My Quit to 36072.
Well, Austin, Perka only had 9 completions the last time these two teams met. He's got 7 here in the first quarter, off to a 7 of 9, 91 yards and a touchdown.
I spoke with Coach Troy Purcell last week after the big game that their offense had, and he said the biggest thing was health, right? They had to get healthy. Not only just the running backs, quarterbacks, wide receivers, but the offensive line was something that was really hurt to start early in the season, and their offensive scheme has kind of evolved. They get that ball out of Perka's hands quickly, and that has been very successful, and don't forget about that successful running game that sets up the play-action pass.
And Parker Robinson with a nice return for the Mountaineers. How about this stat? As I was preparing for this game, Jack Perka had 16 completions against the College of Idaho, 16 against Northern, and 16 against Rocky. 3 straight games, 16 completions.
That is just bizarre. I mean, only one of them didn't work out. You know, I guess if less is more. Is that what we can say about that? 16 is not very much, but he's already off there, as you said, 7 completions already this game. Hopefully he does. We'll see if he goes above that mark.
Bowning's only put it up once for the Mountaineers. He's 1 for 1 through the air, and boy, what a start. 147 yards for the Saints here in this first quarter. Under 4 minutes left to be played. Carroll on senior day scores first. Spurrier will come into motion, their leading receiver. 26 receptions and 419 yards. And quarterback flushed out of the pocket. And that's going to be close to a first down for Carson Bowing. And Carson on the season, he has rushed for more than 100 yards and picks up 9 there.
If he would have let go of this ball would have been an interception for a touchdown. He does a great job at making his read, and then boom, just takes that hole and he almost picks up a first down. Great play.
Mountaineers trying to answer, coming off their first win of the season. They shut out MSU Northern at home last weekend, 37-0. Quick pass, looked like the receiver, coach's son Walker Camp, was hit before he made that catch, but no flag. Spear off defending.
Got some laundry on the field. Usually when it happens in the backfield, we all know what that means. It's usually on the offense, and that's why they're backing up. So we'll see what the call is here.
We've had our share of penalties here in this first quarter.
Illegal chop block. Cannot go underneath. Sometimes that happens with running backs or wide receivers. Let's see. Oh, no, it was the offensive lineman. He went down quickly trying to get that block on one of the defensive linemen for the Saints. And you can't do that, Rocky.
You know, I had Senator Conrad Burns many years ago, U.S. Senator, as my color commentator. I had him on at halftime, Austin, and he decided to stay and work color for me in the third quarter. And the very first play, he said, stunt block. And I said, what's a stunt block? And he looked at me and he said, you're a sportscaster, and this U.S. Senator is telling me what a stunt block is. Live on the air. I never heard of it before. You know what a stunt block is?
Stunt block?
Yeah.
I know what a stunt is as far as like a defensive lineman offensive thing, but I've never heard of a stunt block.
I learned something that day.
Learn something new every day. I love it. I learn a lot of things with you. I love it.
It's going to be 2nd down and 15. We have had a lot of penalties in this first quarter. Just 3:20 left to be played in the first. What a beautiful day for college football Saturday, senior day here in Helena. Last week, a bit rainy, a bit cold. That's why Austin Parr was on the field as a field reporter that entire game, and he had so much fun.
Absolutely. I mean, my shoes were soaked. My pants were soaked. It was about 1 degree away from snowing, but it was an absolutely great experience, and what a phenomenal game to be a part of. 24-0 for Carroll.
Kokob batted that one down, and that's not the first time that Garrett Kokob has done that in his career.
He's one of the leaders on this offense, a 6th-year senior. And here's what you're taught. When you can't get in that backfield or you're getting a double team because he's that good, get your hands up. Get those paws up and knock that ball down.
Bowning 1 for 2 through the air on the season. He's completed just 41% of his passes. It's going to be 3rd down and long. Carson's going to roll right. He's going to throw on the run. Got a receiver, incomplete. And 4th down coming up. Andrew Martinez was the intended receiver, and the Saints with the lead. And they're about to get the ball back as Cameron Rothy will come back to receive this punt.
He had to let this ball go. The defensive line was getting pressure, and he's trying to force something here. There was 2 defenders on there. The receiver wasn't really open, but sometimes, like I played quarterback before too, you just want to throw your receivers open.
Cutler to punt, averaging 35 yards a punt on the season. Saints up 7-0. They're going to get the ball back. High snap. Nice save by Cutler, and boy, what a nice boot. And it's going to be returned. Rothy from the 17 gets brought down from behind. And for the 3rd time in this first quarter, the Saints are on the field, and they'll have the football when we come back.
Not all tires are created equally. Some tires take 50 to 60 more feet to stop, and you don't need that on our Montana wintry roads. Stop by one of our 2 locations in Helena and let our knowledgeable team help you find the right tires for you, your family, and your vehicle this winter season. Point S Tire and Auto Service, keeping our roads safer 1 tire at a time. Make sure to ask about our best price tire match guarantee.
Montana. We're proud to say it's where we live and where we work. We're so much more than pretty scenery. We are all hardworking, resilient, and resourceful. The vibe is different here. Stockman Bank, Montana's brand of banking.
Saints have the lead and the football. First down and 10. They work from the 20-yard line. Carroll College back in the polls again this week. 25th. Tony Collins will come into motion. Long count here. Burgess with the call. Burgess gets hit right at the line and driven back for no gain. Mark Anthony on the stop.
You know what doesn't make sense to me? Carroll shuts out Rocky 24-0, and they only get the 25 spot in the rankings, and Rocky is still in the top 25. I'm not really sure how that works, but if you can explain that to me, that would be awesome.
You have no idea how frustrating it is for me, and I love Coach Stanton at Dickinson State, Coach McCarville. You know, Dickinson State ranked 21st. They're 5-2. They got blown out by Montana Western 35-14. In week number 2 of the season, yet they're ranked above all the Frontier Conference teams. Perka's going to go deep. Collins makes the catch, and Collins gets another 10 yards. Great run after the catch by Tony Collins. Here's a stat for you. Since 2000, Dickinson State's win-loss record against non-Frontier Conference teams, 161-41, 80%. Against the Frontier, 7 wins, 45 losses, 13%.
Is that good?
Not exactly.
Frontier
but
Conference
yet they're ranked above 3 Frontier Conference teams this week and got beat by Western, who's not ranked. And, well, let's just say the North Star Conference not quite as tough as the Frontier. Perka's going to be flushed out, and for the first time today, he had to rush a throw incomplete. And how about Tony Collins on senior day? Wow.
Well, that was also set up by the formation that Carroll set up. They run all these receivers to the right side of the field and leave Tony Collins one-on-one on the outside, and he makes a great move, makes the defender miss, and we call him Mr. Yak. You know what that means, yards after the catch. He does a great job at that, putting Carroll right back in the driver's seat for a scoring drive.
Did you get up by 2 touchdowns in a game like this? That would be big. Second down and 10, 92 seconds left to be played. On the carry out of Billings Central, Duncan Kraft. Boy, what a season he had in 2018. When Billings Central won the Class A championship, they went 12-0 in the title game. Kraft rushed for 202 yards and 2 touchdowns. He had more than 1,500 yards on the ground that year. He averaged more than a first down a carry. It's going to be 3rd down and 4 for the Saints as they line up on the 29-yard line. They come up short here, definitely in 4th down territory. 4 wide receivers set to go on. Harrison and Rothy to the right side. Perka looking over the middle. Pass is caught at the 15-yard line, and the freshman receiver, Chris Ochoas, again. He already has a touchdown in the game. And now it's going to be 1st down and 10 from the 13-yard line for Carroll.
This is all route running right here by the freshman. He does a great job at faking to the inside and then just breaking down. He was going to hit the post route, but he broke down right off that route. The defender was actually getting a little handsy, so they kind of shoved off of him a little bit, but huge game for the Saints offense.
They work from the 12-yard line. The Saints lead 7-0 late here in the first. Kraft again got room. The 10, the 5, into the end zone. Duncan Kraft with the carry, his second rushing touchdown of the season, and that'll cover 13 yards.
This offensive line, once again, gives him the block on the outside. Once you give a guy with that kind of speed, look at 68 there for the Saints. Once he gets to the outside, turns that corner, you knew he was going to make it to the end zone. That's a big, long scoring drive for the Saints offense.
Berger on for the PAT. Big win last week for the Saints and trying to win their final home game of the season here. Harrison to hold. Kick is up. Kick is good. And the Saints lead over Eastern Oregon here in Helena 14-0. 15 seconds left to be played in this first quarter. Perka's first quarter stats, 9 of 12, 151 yards. The Frontier Conference like to thank their following corporate sponsors for their continued support. They include Cooper Tire, Tire-Rama, D.A. Davidson, Irk Hotels, McDonald's, Northwestern Energy, Pepsi, and U.S. Bank. What a start for the Saints, a team that has struggled offensively this year, averaging just 24 points a game, and they've got 2 touchdowns here in the first quarter. And I think, other than the Saints' defense, the MVP's got to be that Saints offensive line.
110%. And you say struggling offense. That's what a lot of people, the storyline is so far for the Saints offense. But they've been trending upwards. They've actually been averaging over 300 yards the last 3 games. So this offense is definitely in a good spot, and especially with some of these leaders, they got healthy on that offensive line, and that's what's been leading the charge for the Saints.
And a nice return, but a better defensive play, and a nice stop for the Saints as Eastern Oregon offense back on the field as Hunter Peck with a nice stop for Carroll College. You know, it's great to see a real grass football field. I don't get to see it very often, and, you know, I envy you. Last week you got to see muddy uniforms, Austin. That just doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah, because everybody wants the turf feel, that feel. You know, no matter what the conditions are, it's always going to be great to play on the turf. But this is what Nelson Stadium's all about. This is why Carroll plays here so well, is there isn't a lot of grass stadiums in the Frontier, and it's an advantage for the Saints.
And the first quarter is going to come to an end, a 4-yard run by the quarterback. At the end of one, the Saints of Carroll College out on top of the Mountaineers, 14-0.
Dude. Fire. Grill master, huh?
Burgers, better with Pepsi.
Chevy Silverado. It's got the power you want and the capability you need to do the job, so you can get to the important work. Find new moments, find new roads. Get a $500 cash allowance on all 2022 Silverado pickups with a 2.7-liter turbo engine. Plus, now during truck season, get a $1,000 accessory allowance toward a new Chevy truck with accessories. See your Montana Chevy dealers.
A1 Rentals, serving Helena since 1959, offers rental items for the do-it-yourselfer to major construction companies. Backhoes, floor care, lawn equipment, automotive, concrete work, generators, heaters, electrical, drywall, and more. We can help with any job, no matter how big or small. And don't forget about our party rentals and retail store at Parties Plus. Planning an event? We can help. From tents to catering to decorations. A1 Rentals and Parties Plus on Cedar Street in Helena.
Flavors of dew. I am thirsty. I must get the dew.
Cut! He's hypnotized again!
Do the dew.
In that first quarter, the Saints 2 106 yards of offense, and that Saints defense, spectacular again, holding Eastern Oregon to just 36 total yards. Carroll averaging more than 9 yards of play, and the Mountaineers need to answer. Down 2 touchdowns over the middle, incomplete. Spurrier was the intended receiver and threw that one in traffic with 3 defenders, and boy, you know you're going to get hit when you go over the middle, Austin.
Absolutely, and you got to hope that your quarterback doesn't put you in a bad position for these middle linebackers, because as a receiver, sometimes you hear those footsteps and you have to secure the catch. You can only hope that that ball is out in front of you from your quarterback.
Carson Bounty just 1 completion here in the first half. It's going to be 3rd down and 6. Screen pass is caught by the running back. Patterson's got a long ways to go, and Patterson's going to be driven out. And is there a late hit penalty? No.
Very close here on the sidelines, though. There's always no reason when a running back or wide receiver, doesn't matter, position player steps out of bounds. Why do they always feel like they have to drag them to the ground? They're already out of bounds. We get it. It's okay. Coaches hate that. They get so frustrated when those 15-yard penalties happen.
That Saints defense, just 36 yards of offense in this game for Eastern Oregon. They're coming off their first win of the season as they shut out the lights of MSU Northern last weekend. Rothy to receive the punt from Coulter, keeps it away from him to the left side. And that takes the Mountaineers bounce. And the Saints have scored the last 2 times they've had the football, and they're coming back on the field, led by their quarterback, Jack Perka.
Not all tires are created equally. Some tires take 50 to 60 more feet to stop, and you don't need that on our Montana wintry roads. Stop by one of our 2 locations in Helena and let our knowledgeable team help you find the right tires for you, your family, and your vehicle this winter season. Point S Tire and Auto Service, keeping our roads safer 1 tire at a time. Make sure to ask about our best price tire match guarantee.
Your estimated wait time is 45 minutes.
Are you tired of being on hold? Then don't leave your money with strangers. Call the people you know at Ascent Bank.
When you work with us, you work with community members who make time for you.
Our goal is to strengthen relationships and give back to our community.
We always work to be part of our community. So if that's important to you,
don't leave your money with strangers. Call the people you know at Ascent Bank.
Ascent Bank, equal housing lender, member FDIC.
It's 7 a.m., and Mike is reading Plato. He's trying to get ahead of the other 6 kids in his ethics class. Pretty soon, he's going to grab some breakfast with his friends. After that, he's meeting with Dr. Klein about his thesis on partial differential equations. Later, he's got a meeting about a possible internship. And after that, practice. Big meet against Montana State tomorrow. He's got a busy week. He's got a busy life. But for right now, it's 7 a.m., and Mike is reading Plato. Carroll College. Not for school, but for life.
Saints had the football. Saints had the lead early. Quarter number 2. Final home game of the season for Carroll College. Rothy's going to come into motion. Screen pass caught. Rothy at the 30. Nifty move, gets across the 40. And that is going to be a face mask. 10 yards on the reception. They're going to tack on some more with the face mask call.
This is actually a great play design. We call this a little bubble screen where the inside receiver just runs parallel to the quarterback, get that ball out there quickly and just let your receiver make plays, and that's what he does here. He was going to go to the outside, but notice his receiver Harrison was blocking to the inside. Boom, makes a move, gets that face mask, tack on 15 more.
Cameron Rothy out of Hamilton. And, boy, Bryce Carver, head coach at Hamilton, another great program. They won their last 20 games in a row. The Hamilton Bronx, but I think the best team in Class A this season, Lewistown. I think it's going to be Lewistown and Billings Central for the State A championship. Saints in Mountaineers territory. First down and 10. They work from the 43-yard line. Perka. Out of the no, that's not. Yeah, that is Perka. And it's going to go deep. Is that going to be intercepted?
I think they're saying to hit the ground before he.
You know, Perka threw 3 interceptions the last time these 2 teams played. And Nato almost picked off one there. He's got 2 this season. Mendoza with 4 interceptions for the Mountaineers. It's going to be 2nd down and 10, 13:42 left to be played here in the first half. Saints lead 14-0.
That one wasn't Perka's fault. Rothy should have held on to that one. Just hit him right in the chest, bounced right up, almost got picked.
Coming with the blitz and on the carry, his first carry of the game, Baxter Tuggle. Tuggle's rushed for 133 yards this season out of Laramie. It's going to be 3rd down and 7 from the 40-yard line for Carroll College.
Baxter Tuggle did a phenomenal job filling in earlier in the year when Burgess and Kraft had a couple of injuries. He had a huge game, one of the game-sealing touchdowns, about a 45-yarder, almost from this same exact spot on the field just about 5 weeks ago.
3rd down and 7. They're going to send 3 wide receivers to the right side. Tight end left. Freshman's going to come in motion. I say they come up short here. They're going to go for it on 4th down. Perka again's got all day. Right over the middle. Pass is caught. Move the chains to the 17-yard line. How can you be that wide open?
Speed, something that I don't have, I never had. Akolshin is just really good at not only route running, but using his talented speed to get away from these defenders. And actually, the coaches were arguing should have been a false start on Burgess. He did move. Nobody saw it. I saw it. Pretty sure everyone else saw it but the referees. But big pickup for Perka on this offense.
Akolshin only had 7 catches coming into this game. That was his 4th. It's going to be 1st down and 10. The Saints, wow. What a first half. They're going to go on the ground, Tuggle, near the 10-yard line. And that Mountaineers defense has got to be getting tired. They have been on the field practically this entire first half.
Yeah, only 5 minutes of possession for the offense for the Mountaineers. Even if you're a great top defense in any league, any sport, any conference, you're gonna break the more you don't get that rest. And so the Mountaineers offense has really got to get something going for this defense.
Most points scored by the Saints, 48, when they beat MSU Northern 48-3. It's going to be 2nd down and 5. Tuggle again looking for some running room. Tuggle's going to slip and go down a gain of about a yard. It's going to be 3rd down and short coming up for the Saints.
He actually had a pretty decent-sized hole up the middle. He tried to bounce it to the outside. If he waited just maybe a half more second, he probably could have gained at least the 1st down, let alone a touchdown.
And Jack England, the fullback, will come in here for the Saints. They work from the 12-yard line. Full backfield. Perka out of the shotgun. The Saints will take a timeout. 11:06 left to be played here in the first half. Carroll College out on top of Eastern Oregon, 14-0. I'd like to thank our Game of the Week sponsors. They include the Montana Chevy dealers. Also brought to you by Opportunity Bank, Northwestern Energy, Montana Tobacco Quit Line at 1-800-QUIT-NOW, and Pepsi. Rocky Erickson with Austin Carr. Coming up at halftime, Dr. John Sack, the president of Carroll College. And always great to visit with Dr. Sack. And I'm pretty sure, Austin, it's because of him we've got great weather today.
Are you sure? I thought it was me. I brought the California sunshine out to Montana for this final home game for Carroll College Senior Day.
Well, let's hope that the Frontier gets at least 2 teams in the postseason. I always think of the Frontier like the SEC of NAIA football. It's going to be 3rd down and short, 3rd down and 3. Line of scrimmage, the 12-yard line. And Perka is going to roll right. Perka goes back over the middle, incomplete. And Harrison, the intended receiver, now it's 4th down. Let's bring on Billings West High. Spencer Berger, 5 of 6 on the year. And a long of 40, and almost all of his field goal records he's set at Billings West going to be broken by Jacob Coway. Conway's already set a state record this year at West High. He's had 11 field goals. It's going to be marked to the 19, a 29-yard field goal attempt for Spencer Burgers, only missed once this year. Snap back, the hold is down. Burgers' kick is up, and the Saints have scored again. Carroll College out on top of Eastern Oregon, 17-0.
We've been around for a while now, 100 years in fact, and in that time, we've weathered some storms, seen some changes. And while that's no small feat, at Opportunity Bank, we don't measure success in time. We measure it by the impact we've made. We measure it by the success of the families, communities, and businesses we've served. After all, to us, there's no better investment than the people of Montana. We're celebrating our 100th year in business, and we're calling it the Big 100. It's a celebration of this community, the good people who live here, and the businesses we've helped build across 100 years. We've been serving Montanans to the very best of our ability for the past century. And this year, we plan to tell 100 stories, share 100 lessons, and give 100 gifts. Here's to the next 100 years.
Busy is good. I'm feeling stronger.
When treating drug and alcohol addiction, it is a myth that you cannot quit tobacco as well.
I can work harder, longer, since I quit.
In fact, those who quit tobacco during treatment are 25% more likely to stay sober.
Feeling constructive rather than destructive.
Decrease your risk of relapse while saving money and improving your health. Quit tobacco now.
I'm finally feeling better.
The sun's out here at Carroll College. Rocky Erickson with Austin Parr. What a beautiful college football Saturday, and the Saints, wow, 17-0 against a team that they struggled with earlier this season, defeating the Mountaineers 25-23, a game where they turned the ball over 4 times. Perka was picked off 3 times in that game, and Perka's numbers were, he was 9 of 19. 3 interceptions, 113 yards. Well, Perka's numbers here in the first half, how about 11 of 16? 183 yards and a little bit of a squib kick. Was that an onside kick attempt, Austin?
That was very interesting. I've actually never seen them run that play at all. I've never seen it in practice at all this year either. I think he tried to knock the ball. It was a really great kick. It was really well done, well executed. It just took a wrong bounce, but try to get that ball, knock it back into play. That's going to be a penalty and give this Eastern Oregon offense maybe a jolt, maybe a jump start here.
Only 38 yards of offense for the Mountaineers. Carroll College with 241. They come in averaging 294 yards a game.
So if you look at the replay there, he actually knocked the ball off the Eastern Oregon defender. No flag there, but they're still going to take over at about the 38-yard line.
First down and 10. Mountaineers. Boy, do they need to get on the scoreboard before this half comes to an end. They come in averaging just 13 points a game. They're going to go on the ground, and Patterson spins out of one tackle, gets brought down after a short gain of only a yard for Aiden Patterson. On this Eastern Oregon roster, 39 players from the state of Oregon, 30 from Washington, and 18 from Idaho.
I'm actually surprised we haven't seen a little mix-up on the offense here. We talked about earlier about 6 different players actually completing passes on this team. So look for Eastern Oregon to maybe switch it up and bring some different looks against this defense.
Spurrier's yet to catch a pass. Caught behind the line and going down with the sack. The Saints. Is that Jake Walk? That's his 4th sack of the season for Walk, and that was huge.
He just did a great job at shedding his block quickly, giving no time for the quarterback, bringing him down for a big-time loss.
It's going to be 3rd down and long. It's going to be 3rd down and 13. Bowing 2 of 5, just 15 yards through the air. That Saints defense, they've been spectacular. They've not given up a touchdown for 9 quarters now. Unbelievable. 3rd down and 13. Carson's going to dump it out short, and I think that was deflected. And the intended receiver was a running back, Aiden Patterson. And the Saints, who lead 17-0, they're getting the football back.
Same thing again as we're taught, especially in the screen game. If you can't get to the quarterback and you see the screen, get those hands up. That ball was tipped, and that play was broken up in the backfield. Another big stop for this defense. Like you said, still hasn't given up a point in a couple of weeks now.
Well, the Saints, if they can win this afternoon, win against Southern Oregon, upset the College of Idaho the final weekend, well, they're on their way to the postseason playoffs. Snap back, heavy rush, and the punter, Cutler, just gets the ball off. Well, Austin Parr, how much fun are you having this season with Helena High and Helena Capital, two great high school teams? Talk about more of that right after.
Since before the birth of America, the Army National Guard has stood ready to answer the call to defend and protect the nation. Army National Guard soldiers share in an enduring commitment to serve their state in times of crisis and defend their nation in times of conflict. The men and women of the Army National Guard serve part-time in their own communities and have a stake in its continued security. To learn all about the benefits of becoming a soldier in the Army National Guard, visit nationalguard.com.
Montana. We're proud to say it's where we live and where we work. We're so much more than pretty scenery. We are all hardworking, resilient, and resourceful. The vibe is different here. Stockman Bank, Montana's brand of banking.
Not all tires are created equally. Some tires take 50 to 60 more feet to stop, and you don't need that on our Montana wintry roads. Stop by one of our 2 locations in Helena and let our knowledgeable team help you find the right tires for you, your family, and your vehicle this winter season. Point S Tire and Auto Service, keeping our roads safer one tire at a time. Make sure to ask about our best price tire match guarantee.
Jack Perka's biggest game this year. He threw for 218 yards against the College of Idaho. Well, he's going to exceed that number here in the first half. They're going to keep it on the ground. Burgess with the carry, gain of about 3 yards on the play. He went for 107 yards. First time these two teams met this season, and Burgess with 14 yards on the afternoon. Boy, I'll tell you what. Austin, I don't know what is more impressive, the defensive line for the Saints or the offensive line for the Saints.
Rinse and repeat, something we're going to talk about all day long. If you're Burgess, you just follow those big fellas. Follow those 300-pound offensive linemen and gain yards on this defense all day long.
It's going to be 2nd down and 7, play fake, wide open. The freshman, Chris Ochoa, and that's going to be enough for a gain of about 4 short of the first down. They get across midfield. It's going to be 3rd down and a long yard here for Carroll, bringing the big tight end.
Something that Acolshan didn't do that Jaden Harrison did earlier is get to the sticks. He actually broke that down early and didn't really know where he was on the field. Stepped out of bounds, just short of the first down.
And the Mountaineers just cannot stop this Carroll offense right now.
This would be a big 3rd down stop.
Tight end the left side on 3rd down and 1. Showing blitz. Here they come. On the ground, Burgess gets the first down and then some to the 45-yard line. 7:49 left to be played. Here in the first half, the Saints lead 17-0.
Eastern Oregon actually brought 8 guys in the box here. That just gives more credit to this offensive line. And they say, look, if you can't stop it, we're just going to keep running the ball all day long.
1st down and 10. Carroll College. That Eastern Oregon defense, they've been on the field pretty much this entire first half. Perka looking left, has all day in the pocket of the tight end, incomplete. Ochia, the big tight end, unable to make that catch in good coverage. It's going to be 2nd down and 10. You know, the Saints right now, Austin, they may be the best team in the Frontier Conference as we speak.
I mean, yeah, it is debatable. Of course, like we were talking about earlier, Tech and Rocky playing this weekend. Western, I still can't get over that upset last weekend. John just absolutely proved how good he is on offense. 5 touchdowns, 400 yards passing. I mean, what can he not do? But this Carroll College offense, like I said earlier, trending upwards, and they honestly could be right now the best team in the conference.
Burgess tries the right side, comes back to the left side. A gain of about 1 for Matthew. He leads the team over 360 yards on the ground. It's going to be 3rd down and 9. Perka, 12 of 18. 188 yards and a touchdown midway through quarter number 2. The Saints defense, well, they've not given up a touchdown the last 10 quarters. How impressive is that? 3 wide receivers left side. Perka looking left. Perka still in the pocket. Flush downhill run. The 40. Perka first down, the 35. The 30 before he's knocked out. Jack Perka is having a career here in the first half.
This is something that we watched all week last week. That offensive line gives him so much time. He doesn't like his reads, so you know what? Why not use those legs and pick up the first down? Watch this move he puts on this defender. Nope, going to the outside. That was a huge first down for the Saints.
Perka, 28 yards rushing last week, 2 touchdowns in that win against Rocky. That was his top rushing game of the season. He may exceed that on the ground and through the air into this game. Bubble screen pass caught 30-yard line to the 25-yard line. And the Saints continue to move that football.
Another bubble screen. You just get your player out in space. As a receiver, especially as these freshman receivers that they've developed, they're taught to block. If you want to catch the football, you want to catch touchdowns, you've got to block for your other receivers, and that's exactly what they did on that play.
It's going to be 2nd down and 5. Time of possession, double for the Saints. Wide open. Look at that run. Burgess to the 20-yard line. He follows the hole. What a huge hole from that awesome Saints offensive line. Wow.
They provided you could drive a bus through this hole, but Burgess, that knee looks real healthy with how fast he exploded through that hole. Wow. That's all you could say really is wow.
5'11", 205-pounder out of Oregon. It's going to be 1st down and 10. The Saints lead 17-0. 20-yard line. Perka on the ground again. Burgess left side, another big hole. Burgess down near the 10-yard line. That's going to be close to yet another Saints first down. Burgess 36 yards here in the first half.
He does a great job at making a little cut, too, and almost gets in the end zone. This is the bread and butter of this Saints offense. This is what sets up the pass. They run the ball, and then watch for Perka to get out of the pocket here near the end zone and find one of his favorite targets, either TC or a Colshin on the outside.
1st and goal. Burgess again to the right side. Burgess at 10, the 5, into the end zone. Touchdown, 10-yard touchdown run for Matthew Burgess. And he finds the end zone for the 4th time this season.
Rinse and repeat. That's that offensive line. As soon as they set that edge, that's what they teach you, to set that edge on the outside and let your speedy running back do everything else. And that's exactly what Burgess does all the way to the end zone.
Spencer Berger on for the PAT for the Saints. 4 minutes and 43 seconds left to be played. Here in the first half, senior day at Carroll College. Snap back, the hold is down, the kick is up, and the kick is good. And the Saints lead 24-0 here in the first half. Wow.
I think they're trying to make a statement here.
I'd like to thank our affiliates for today's game, SWX in Billings, Bozeman, Butte, Great Falls, Helena, Kalispell, Missoula, Spokane, Coeur d'Alene, Yakima, and the Tri-Cities, and all across America on the Carroll College YouTube stream. We're happy to have you enjoying this game with us. Rocky Erickson, Austin Parr, 24-0. The Saints are out on top when these two teams met September 17th. The Saints only scored 25 and won 25-23. They are on a roll here. Wow.
Got to give some credit to these coaches and the adjustments they've made since that game, especially Alex Fanninstill, who is the offensive coordinator for the Fighting Saints. It's just a whole different offense from what we saw in that game versus this game. I mean, 24 points. We still got almost 5 minutes left in the second quarter.
And on the return, Davis gets out near the 30-yard line. 305 yards of offense for the Saints of Carroll College. They came into the game averaging 294, but even more impressive than more than 300 yards in the first half, the fact that they've held the Mountaineers to just 35 yards of offense, just one first down. Carroll has 16 first downs here in the first half.
Again, I mean, we're talking about the Lions all day long. Defensive line for Carroll has been huge. They cannot run the ball currently. They got to come up with some different schemes. Maybe as we're watching this, they're actually taking a wildcat snap here to try to get something going. And again, that defensive line steps up big time again for Carroll.
And Parker Robinson with the carry, not the first time we've seen that. He went for 88 yards, season high last weekend, the win against the Lights of MSU Northern. His second carry out of the Wildcat. It's going to be second down and 10 for the Mountaineers. 4:16 left to be played here in the first half. The Saints of Carroll College trying to pick up their third win in a row. It would be their fifth win in the last 6 games. And they're one of the hottest teams in NAIA football in the nation. And again, out of the Wildcat, taking a big hit. Robinson lowers his shoulder, drives ahead for a gain of about 5 yards. They're struggling offensively, just 15 passing yards. They're trying to get something done on the ground, trying to get just their second first down of the day.
I mean, that was actually a positive play. It was actually a 6-yard gain. They're trying to create motion. Wildcat, I mean, I told you earlier, we're going to see a little bit of everything for this offense, and so far it's been a struggle, but this could be the jolt that they needed if they can pick up this first down.
Coach's son, Walker Camps, put out wide left side with Blackham. He's got a couple of catches. It's going to be third down and 5. Patterson, wide receiver. They run the Wildcat again. A gain of a couple. It's going to be fourth down. The Saints are going to get the ball back with 3:06 left to be played here in the first half. Well, Austin, why do the Saints play so well here at home?
Not just to do with the grass field, but how about the atmosphere? It actually gets very loud down there. Not a lot of people know this. I actually know this because I was on the sidelines, even though we didn't have a lot of fans last week. But it's kind of like a bowl atmosphere down there at Nelson Stadium, and it gets really loud, and they're just – grass field is tough to play on, and they're used to it. If you look at their practice field, it's not great, to say the least.
The 6th punt of the first half, Cutler goes over his head, and Cutler recovers and still gets a kickoff. Wow. You know what took place last Saturday in Bozeman in the Bobcat game? Their wild win against Weber State, sans the long snapper. For Weber State, not once, not twice, not 3 times, but 4 times punted. He snapped the ball over the head of the punter. The ball went into the end zone, a national record. 4 safeties in that game. Now, that was Weber's first loss. They lost by 5, 8 points on safeties.
You just can't have that. There's no excuses there. At some point, you either got to replace the center, get that backup in there, or something's got to change. You can't have 4 snaps over the head. We just saw that replay. Who says punters aren't athletes?
Wow.
That was an unbelievable play that he still got that punt off. Wow.
2:18 left. Can the Saints score again? Perka wants to throw on first down. Perka will run on first down. Spins out of a tackle, gets out of bounds to stop the clock. All of that, Austin, for a gain of 3.
You know what we call that? So we play this video game called Madden. You ever heard of it?
My son, all he did.
Madden is a phenomenal game, and we use the B button, which is the spin button, and that's exactly what Perka did on that defender there. Picks up a nice 3 or 4 yards.
The technology now, I can't tell if it's real or if it's Madden. It's unbelievable.
It's the cameras, you know, and the amount of graphics that they can put in, and the facial recognition, I think is what they call it. It's crazy.
2nd down and 7. Perka quick over the middle, incomplete, and boy, Rothi, he took a big hit and was not able to make that catch. Beasley on the stop for Eastern Oregon. 1:44 left to be played. The Saints have 2 timeouts. That 24-0 score, does that look familiar?
Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Except this weather is much better than last week. That was Perka's fault, though, on that throw. That ball was about a half a yard behind his receiver. Actually almost got picked off. We didn't catch that one.
And Perka, 13 of 20, 192 yards. Here in the first half, it's going to be 3rd down and 7. Perka over the middle, yes. The freshman inside the 15, the 10, and it's going to be a touchdown. And that is going to cover 49 yards, and the Saints have scored again.
This freshman receiver is so fast and so good. He finds a spot actually in the middle in the zone defense, does a little post route. Perka, again, does a great job being patient with the football behind that big-time offensive line, lets his receiver make a play, and boom, as soon as he caught that football, he was gone.
Ochoa again and Spencer. Berger, he has been a busy man. A field goal. His 3rd PAT attempt. Spencer Berger, kick is up, and it went wide left. And Berger, a rare miss, and the Saints lead 30-0. 30-0, the Saints out on top. And the Saints, that's their 2nd highest scoring game they've had this season. The Saints put up 48 on Northern. It's the most points they've scored at home this year.
That offense is absolutely humming. Jack Perka, man, what can you say about his growth from week 1 to this point now in the season? He looks like a veteran quarterback, only a sophomore out of Coeur d'Alene, Idaho.
Okay, I can hear you, but I can't hear myself. I can't hear myself, and I can't. Are we still on the air audio-wise?
We can hear you. We just can't hear ourselves.
A minute 32 left to be played here in the first half, and what a great first half it's been. The Saints are on a roll here, and Eastern Oregon needs something to happen. Davis on the return. Davis eludes one tackle, eludes another tackle, and the kicker finally brings him down. What a nice return for Blake Davis for the Mountaineers, and that's one of their better plays this entire game.
That's it. I mean, if you can't do it on offense, why not do it on special teams? That was a phenomenal return, about 3 broken tackles there. This is exactly what Eastern Oregon needed. They got to get some sort of points on the board just before halftime.
They have 3 timeouts, a minute 21 left, 30-0. Our score, Saints out on top big, just 15 yards of offense here. And oh, what a stop. What a stop for the Saints. Forrest with the stop and a loss of about 5 yards. And the Mountaineers have taken a timeout. 68 seconds left to be played in the first half, and the Saints lead 30-0.
That is the freshman Forrest Suero out of Helena product there. They are so excited for the future with him. He had a big sack on George Tribble last week that actually knocked him out of the game, but he's very talented, and he's only a freshman.
Coach Purcell, his fourth season. Game number 33. 20 wins, 12 losses. I remember when he was in Havre. How about that state championship in 04 against Central? First state championship for the Blue Ponies since 1970. In that game, Havre quarterback Gary Wagner hit speedy wide receiver Mark Mariani. 2 long touchdowns of 75 and 84. Mariani would walk on with the Grizz and then play in the National Football League. And when Coach Purcell was at Bozeman, he had Will Disley as a tight end. He would play at Washington State, also made the National Football League. The pass incomplete. And the intended receiver on the play for Eastern Oregon was Drew Reyes. And the Mountaineers continue to struggle, just 15 yards through the air here in the first half. 1:10 left to be played.
Got to find something here before halftime. 30 points is a lot to come back from, but if you can get something going to ride into the second half, perhaps you can kind of climb your way back into this game.
Walker Camps put out wide the left side. Blackham to the right. Buying back to throw. Takes a hit. He's going to be sacked. A loss of 2, and all of a sudden it's 4th down again. The Mountaineers, 1 first down in the first half. The Saints with 17. Total domination for Carroll College, the 25th ranked team in the nation this week. Wow.
You think that ranking had anything to do with this performance? Kind of looks like they're trying to make a statement here today. This defense is just performing at such a high level. Tucker Jones, Jake Walk in there doing such a great job at getting off their blocks. If they're going to double team Garrett Kokab, then other guys have to step up, and that's exactly what we're seeing here from this Saints defense.
From 2002 to 2010, the Saints won 6 national championships in 8 years under head coach Mike Van Diest, one of the most amazing runs in all of college football. Cutler back to punt, Rothie to receive. The Saints 62 seconds and 1 timeout left. Barely gets the kickoff again. Rothie calls for a fair catch. Austin, have the Saints done anything wrong this afternoon?
I bet the only thing we can point to is the missed extra point. You know, they should have 31 points instead of 30, but no. I mean, offensively, defensively, this team is peaking at the right time. This is exactly what you want to do late in the season, heading into possibly a postseason run. You want to peak at the right time. It happens all the time in different sports like MLB baseball, Major League Baseball. You get hot at the right time, and boom, look at your Phillies in the World Series.
By the way, I hope the Phillies win that World Series. Andrew Carter, the center, 6'3", 300 pounds, out of Idaho. And will it be a hurry-up offense to try to score again? Perka flushed out. Perka will run. We've seen that before. And Perka out across the 40-yard line, a gain of about 8 on the quarterback carry for Jack Perka's got 25 yards rushing this afternoon. And a season high, 242 yards through the air. A season high here in the first half. He needs 2 more completions, and then you sit him so he can have 4 straight games, Austin, of 16 completions in each game.
I don't think coaches notice that. I don't think Perka knows that stat. But that would be a very interesting 4th game in a row with 16 completions.
It's going to be 2nd down and 6. Perka. Tony Collins is out of bounds. No catch. And Tony Collins went up high, very athletic, to try to make that catch. Clock is stopped. It's going to be third down. 41 seconds left to be played. Here with the first half. Dr. Sack, president of Carroll College, will be our halftime guest. Looking forward to that. And, boy, what a great job he has done here at Carroll College. Harrison and Rothi split out wide to the right side. It's going to be third down and 7. Saints trying to get into field goal range for Berger. Only a 3-man rush, and down goes Perka, and he was hit hard. And an Eastern Oregon player is injured. Less than 30 seconds left to be played here in the first half.
I think his own player actually went in and hit helmet-to-helmet contact between two Eastern Oregon players, which actually caused him to be down. We sure hope he's okay.
AA football, round 1. Last night, Glacier shut out Senior 31-0. Bozeman. Rather, Gallatin all over Big Sky, 42-0. And Butte, bit of an upset over Great Falls. They came in having won the last 4, won 35-21. Sentinel ended CMR season 50-31 in the quarterfinals. Coming up next weekend, Bozeman against the high-scoring Glacier Wolfpack. Helena High at home against Gallatin, Capital and Butte. Then I've got the West Sentinel game. And those two teams have hooked up in a state championship. The last 2 years, they opened the season against each other. Sentinel won 24-21, the final score. And I'm going to go out on a limb here, Austin, and it's going to be Helena High and Helena Capital in the state championship. And it's only going to be the 7th time in Montana football history that two teams from the same city have met in a title game. The last time it happened, it was Billings Senior up against Billings Skyview. And Capital, I'm not sure if any team can beat the Bruins this year.
They just up and down the roster look so good. Defensively, middle linebacker position, the defensive line, they have a couple of big-time commits that are going to Montana State University, Montana. And don't forget about that explosive offense. 2 different quarterbacks, 2 different running backs, Dylan Graham, Tom Carter. You got Hayden Opitz out there as well. Nick Michelotti, Joey Michelotti. Capital looks solid. I don't think a lot of people, except for the people in the Bengals camp, thought that they were going to be this good this year, but it just goes to say how good of a job head coach Dane Broadhead has done for those Helena Bengals, and I wish both teams luck, and I'm looking forward to cover both of those games next week.
Berger just his second punt. Now they have 2 home games, so somebody's going to play on Friday night and somebody's going to play on Saturday afternoon.
So the crosstown game, what was on the line obviously was home field advantage throughout, but it was also the right to pick when you play. So Capital will be playing on Friday, I assume, so that they have a normal week. Nothing's weird. Nothing changes. And then Helena will play on Saturday.
Only in AA football, AA teams play in the playoffs on Friday afternoon. Everybody else plays on Saturday afternoon. Last year, Austin, I announced my first ever 6-man football game. It's a 15 yards for a first down. Everybody's eligible to catch a pass, including the center. If you kick a field goal, it's worth 4 points. If you kick a PAT, it's worth 2. If you run it in, it's worth 1. Why? Well, it takes half the team to kick a football. And Spencer Berger with the stop and a gain on the play of about 9 yards. And I don't think anybody's going to call a timeout as his first half is going to come to an end. And they
As
do.
You say that.
As I said that, they do. Call it. Did the Saints take a timeout?
No, Eastern Oregon took that
Eastern
timeout.
Oregon trying to get on the scoreboard here. Coming off a huge win for them last weekend when they knocked off the Lights of MSU Northern 37-0. And, boy, for the Lights. They've been outscored this year 335-18. They've only scored 2 touchdowns. And what's really shocking, their total offense combined the last 4 games 80 yards. Carroll held the Lights to just 4 yards of total offense a couple of weeks ago, and you got to hope Jerome Sowers stays in the program, the all-time winningest coach in the Big Sky Conference history, and he can build the program. Be patient. They've got a new stadium, and they can only go up from where they are today.
Absolutely. We were up there doing a preseason preview for the Lights, and beautiful place up there. Beautiful new facilities is the word I was looking for. But like you said, Jerome Sowers, we were talking to him, and he wasn't ready to retire. He said he belonged in football, and he wanted to rebuild this program at MSU.
Well, it's halftime here in Helena, and the Saints out on top of Eastern Oregon, 30-0 at the break.
Chevy Silverado. It's got the power you want and the capability you need to do the job, so you can get to the important work. Find new moments, find new roads. Get a $500 cash allowance on all 2022 Silverado pickups with a 2.7-liter turbo engine. Plus, now during truck season, get a $1,000 accessory allowance toward a new Chevy truck with accessories. See your Montana Chevy dealers.
I'm a design-build contractor. Besides getting a permit, we make sure to call 811 before starting every job. It's difficult to tell where Northwestern Energy's natural gas pipelines are exactly. They could be right where we're digging, even if the homeowner doesn't use natural gas. And obviously, we don't want to cut off someone's power or cause an explosion. My crew is like my family. I want to keep them safe. If calling 811 can save their lives, that's an easy call to make.
First Interstate Bank halftime show, 30-0. Saints out on top of the Mountaineers of Eastern Oregon. And with us at halftime, the president of Carroll College, Dr. John Sack. I've already given you credit for a beautiful Saturday. That is fantastic. This is the 1-800-QUIT line sponsor. And I used to tell people that here in Helena, the most famous person was John Doran of Blues Cross Blue Shield. That's not true. It's the president of Carroll College, Dr. Sack. Dr. Sack, what are you most proud of about Carroll College?
Well, Rocky, first of all, I should have worn my cowboy boots today. But no, I'll tell you what, I am so proud of this college, our faculty and staff, and what happens with our students. And our students go out to change the world. They change the organizations that they are a part of, their communities, and in such positive ways. And it's just been a pleasure for me to get to talk with many of our alumni. In fact, Dr. Earl Heller, who graduated from here in the mid-1950s, was a world-renowned orthopedic surgeon and really changed the world with respect to knees. And he's an example of the type of graduates that this person or this college produces. It's just amazing.
Dr. Sack, when you meet somebody for the first time, what are you most proud of? What do you tell them about Carroll College?
I tell them that the faculty and staff care, that when they come to Carroll College, they are part of a community, they are part of a family, and the Helena community cares. This is, Rocky, this town, Helena is such an amazing place. The people, the world-class outdoor recreation that we have here, the weather, take a look at this weather today. So we have students coming to Carroll from 44 states and 21 different countries, and I'm just so proud of this college and this community and just everything coming together.
Dr. Sack, I got to ask you a question. What did you learn from COVID? Carroll College was one of the few colleges, universities in the nation that still had in-class, you still had students in dorms. What did you learn from that period?
You know, what I learned is that we approached it from a play-to-win philosophy. We weren't going to lose. We knew that we had the staff, the teamwork, the medical advice. We could do this, and we didn't need to close, and we didn't outside of when the state itself was closed. But we were open throughout, and I think our students benefited, and the community and state of Montana benefited.
You know, your football program, your basketball programs, play at such a high level and do so well. Who do you give credit to? Why are they so good and everything?
You know, you got to give credit to the coaches, our athletic director, Charlie Gross, and all of the athletic support staff. But also, Rocky, you got to give credit to the faculty and the staff who support those students and their classes. And it's really, as you know, a team effort.
Dr. Seck, anything new coming up here at Carroll College you'd like to talk about?
Yes. On next week, on Thursday, we are going to have a major announcement that is going to be significant. It's going to be transformational for the future of this college. And I wish I could announce it today, Rocky, but I can't. But we will be announcing it at 9:30 in the morning in the campus center this coming Thursday. It's pretty exciting.
So you're not going to retire and become a sportscaster, right?
Rocky, you're the best. Why would I attempt to sit in your chair?
Dr. John Seck, our halftime guest. Thank you so much for joining us, Doctor. Appreciate it.
Rocky, we love you. Thank you.
Saints lead at the break over Eastern Oregon, 30-0.
We are driven by an unquenchable desire for knowledge, for the truth that lay just outside our grasps. We are meant for more, made for more. We are unwilling to ignore that which calls to us, that which will transform us. With joy and curiosity, we will boldly find our path in a world of unknowns. At Carroll College, we are here for the adventure.
Montana. We're proud to say it's where we live and where we work. We're so much more than pretty scenery. We are all hardworking, resilient, and resourceful. The vibe is different here. Stockman Bank, Montana's brand of banking.
First half, and boy, check out those stats, Austin. 363 yards for the Saints, and the Saints defense held Eastern Oregon at just 37 yards. Eastern Oregon 0 for 6 on third downs, and Eastern Oregon with just one first down in the first half and 17 for Carroll College, and almost twice the time of possession. And if you thought the Mountaineers defense was tired in the first half, what's going to happen here in the second half?
They're gonna need to get some stops so they can get off the field. The reason why Eastern Oregon is 0 for 6 on third down is because first down and second down, they've gotten 0 chunk plays. They're not making it easy on themselves. The third down conversions are 3rd and 8 and longer. Some of the penalties have hurt them as well. But it's going to be interesting in the second half to what adjustments can they make? Can they run different trick plays? Can they bring out some more offensive plays to get something going? I mean, it's a big deficit. It's going to be tough to come back from. And, for Carroll, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Just keep doing the same thing.
242 passing yards for Jack Perka. That is a season high. But what I'm most impressed with, he's got all the time in the world to find an open receiver. The offensive line has been spectacular.
Led by Andrew Carter. And something I mentioned last week was about how they use the same gloves over and over and over, which creates...
You got to share that story. That's incredible.
I was at practice earlier in the preseason, and something that these defensive linemen said, they hate going against the offensive line of Carroll because they've used the same gloves for probably about 4 to 5 years, which create a stench. When those hands get up in your face, it is something that you do not want to smell. It's kind of an advantage for that offensive line, and it seems to be working so far. They're giving Perka all the time in the world, and it's a sight to see.
What has happened to this Carroll College Saints team? How have they improved so much the last few weeks?
I think we talked about it earlier is health, right? So they got a couple of guys back on the offensive line. Their defense is fully healthy. Burgess, their big-time running back, that knee looks as good as it's ever looked. He is explosive, elusive. Use any of those descriptions that you can. But they've just made a lot of adjustments with the coaching staff. They're looking at things, what things went right in the first half of the season, what things went wrong, and this gives a lot of credit to that coaching staff. They made so many adjustments, and it looks like we said earlier, they're probably the best team in the Frontier Conference.
Austin, we're going to take a break. We're going to come back with the Mountain Dew do-over right after this. Saints up 30-0 at the break.
Mountain Dew Spark might hypnotize you. You might want to stop staring. Stop staring at the delicious Mountain Dew Spark.
Chevy Silverado. It's got the power you want and the capability you need to do the job, so you can get to the important work. Find new moments, find new roads. Get a $500 cash allowance on all 2022 Silverado pickups with a 2.7-liter turbo engine. Plus, now during truck season, get a $1,000 accessory allowance toward a new Chevy truck with accessories. See your Montana Chevy dealers.
This is how we play. Play with power. How we put a team together. This is how we pass on greatness. Because with this team to inspire us, there's nothing we can't do. Pepsi, play to inspire.
And now it's time for a Mountain Dew do-over in his dominating first half. Perka already has a season high in the first half, 242 yards, and that was in that first quarter.
I mean, we just see that offensive line giving him all the time in the world to just make all the reads and all the passes that he needs. This was a huge one to Tony Collins, and what a great job he does after the catch, picking up about an extra 15 yards, such a big target. But Perka's been doing a great job at that offensive line. That's just rinse and repeat.
Kraft out of Billings Central with a 10-yard touchdown run. Spencer Berger with the field goal, and Burgess in the end zone again. Mountain Dew do-over. The Saints out on top, 30-0 here in the first half. 17 first downs, just one for the Mountaineers. 363 yards of offense for Carroll College, is 37 for the Mountaineers. Senior day here in Helena. Saints up big, 30-0.
Those moments where banking is the last thing on your mind? Yeah, those are our favorite moments too. Bring on the day. First Interstate, built for you.
Get an edge in buying your home by getting pre-qualified for your mortgage today.
Mountain Dew Spark might hypnotize you. You might want to stop staring. Stop staring at the delicious Mountain Dew Spark.
This is how we play. Play with power. How we put a team together. This is how we pass on greatness. Because with this team to inspire us, there's nothing we can't do. Pepsi, play to inspire.
So if you were head coach Tim Camp, in that locker room, at halftime, Austin Parr, what do you think he talked to his team about?
Play like you deserve that jersey that you're wearing. You deserve that number that you're wearing. Show some heart. Show something here. Look, I know we're not going to make the postseason this year, and we're building a program for the future, but we can't get embarrassed like this, especially here against a team that we almost beat just about 4 to 5 weeks ago. Try to show something different in this second half, and hopefully we'll see it to get us started here.
One of the most disappointing things about the NAIA, only 16 teams go to the postseason. Right now, we only have one. The College of Idaho ranked in the top 20. They're 12th. Tech today, 23rd. Rocky, 24th. They play at Rocky today. And Carroll, number 25. Now, if they put me in charge, Austin, it would be the top 3 or 4 teams from the Frontier get in each and every year, because you can't really go by the win-loss records in the Frontier. Everybody keeps beating each other up every week.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how they decide this whole NAIA postseason, but I think they need to take a look at it and maybe go to a committee approach on how strong the conference is, because the Frontier Conference is no joke. This is my first taste of Frontier Conference football, and I'm impressed. To be honest, before I got out here, I didn't know Carroll College was a powerhouse in the NAIA, all those national championships, how many other good teams there are in this conference. So I think that's something that the NAIA needs to look at moving forward.
The standard in basketball, you win 20 games. That's a big deal. In football, you average 7 or 8 wins. That's a big deal. But Mike Van Diest, in his 20 seasons at Carroll College, averaged more than 10 wins a season. 203 victories in 20 years, 6 national championships, 14 conference titles. But then again, when you win, you also get to go to the postseason and play more games. But still, you average 10 wins a year.
That's impressive.
Wow.
That is absolutely impressive, and I don't think that's something that's ever going to be touched, honestly, here at Carroll College. 203 wins. That is amazing, and that just – how many times were they in the postseason when I was younger? 2002, 2003, 2004, 2005, 2007, back again 2010, national champions, Carroll College, NAIA football.
And what's hard? I mean, when Troy Purcell came here, his first season in 2019, I mean, you're following a legend like Mike Van Diest, and you look at whether it's the NFL, high school football, college football. I mean, who wanted? How many coaches have followed Bear Bryant in Alabama, and that didn't work out.
Right.
I mean, Eric Parsegan at Notre Dame. I mean, you don't. It's almost an impossible task. Nobody wants that job.
Well, why don't we switch to our profession?
To follow a legend. It's hard, but Troy has done a great job.
Troy has done a phenomenal job at building this program for sustainability over the next 4 to 5, 6 years, however long he is here. This is a phenomenal program. They're getting so many different recruits. This is one of their biggest recruiting classes that they've had in the last 3 or 4 years, and they're just so excited for this football program moving forward. But speaking of replacing legends, it's like, let's go to our profession. Nobody wants to replace Vin Scully. That's like one of the toughest jobs on the planet. And you can't replace that, right? So you kind of create your own mindset, your own character, your own imprint on the program, and Troy is doing just that with this Carroll College program.
The number one team in NAIA football the last few years, the Mustangs of Morningside out of Iowa, ranked number one again this week, 7-0 on the year. Their 5-year win-loss record, how about 60 wins, just one loss. They've won 3 of the last 4 national championships. They were 14-0 last year, 10-1 in 2020, and 14-0 in 2019, 15-0 in 2018. You know, one way to stop that, Austin, you just say, guys, you're done in the NAIA. You're now in Division II. We're going to move you up to the NCAA.
Yeah, it's kind of like what the
North Dakota State.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. You take them out of the conversation, out of the situation. But 60 wins, 1 loss. Is that good?
That's unbelievable.
That's impressive. That is very impressive.
And 3 national championships in the past 4 years as well. The final home game for the Saints of Carroll College, and they have that 1 loss at home to the College of Idaho, 31-20. What a way that they started the season as they beat a very good Montana Western team. They were nationally ranked 16-10 here at home. They then lost the next week to Tech. They won 2 straight, lost to the College of Idaho, and they have been spectacular the last 2 weeks, defeating the Lights 48-3, and then shutting out Rocky, their first shutout against Rocky since 2012. And the Saints, folks, 10 quarters now. 10 quarters, they have not given up a touchdown. They gave up a field goal to the Lights a couple of weeks ago. That was a bit of a fluke. And the return for Blake Davis out across the 20, the 30. And Davis gets across the 45-yard line, and a nice return for Eastern Oregon.
He's been the most positive spark for this team the entire day. He's had a couple of nice returns. He does a great job there. All of his blockers are setting up left so that kickoff coverage by Carroll goes that way. He puts his foot in the ground, and boom, he's gone. 45-yard line. This could be it right here, like we were talking about earlier. You know, this is something that they need, just something positive to get them going here on offense.
Rocky Erickson with Austin Parr, senior day here at Carroll College, and the Saints have looked spectacular on both sides of the football. And it's going to be a quarterback keep here. Carson Bowning goes for about 4 yards, just short of midfield. Again, the Mountaineers just 1 first down on the afternoon.
But what we talked about at halftime is 1st and 2nd down, they were having trouble getting chunk plays. That was a chunk play there. That's really all you can ask for, about 2 to 3 yards from a quarterback keep. That'll set you up for a 3rd and short.
Fields split out wide to the left side with Spurrier, the team's leading receiver. 26 catches coming in, and Spurrier has not had a catch in this game on the ground. Anthony Peterson, and Peterson literally goes nowhere. He's going to lose a yard. Long 3rd down play coming up for the Mountaineers.
I think that defensive line just got in there and got off their blocks really quickly. Looks like Gary Warden, I think that was a missed assignment by the offensive line. He did fumble the oh, wow. Held on to it. Gary Warden came in there unblocked. There was nobody there. Confusion on the offensive line there by Eastern Oregon.
Blacken will come into motion. Eastern Oregon has not completed a third down this afternoon. They're 0 of 6. Carter going to roll right. His pass is incomplete. He threw that one away, and now they're 0 for 7. And the quarterback, Carson Bowning, 3 of 8, just 24 yards. And Ethan Cutler has had an interesting day punting the football. He's eluded a couple of blocks, and he has showed his athleticism in that position. It's been dangerous a couple of times. Look at the Saints. They're going to put 10 on the line, and they rush again, and punter slips, Cutler slips, and still gets the kickoff. And, boy, if you just did a highlight reel of Ethan Cutler this afternoon, I mean, he's done a great job considering.
That was actually his first mistake. I mean, that we were talking about how good the field conditions were, but he actually slipped on his plant foot right before he was going to kick that football. But you got to adjust there. If the defense is going to bring 10 guys on the line, you got to bring a couple of those gunners on the outside to squeeze it in, because that punt was almost blocked again.
And the Saints offense on the field, 363 yards in that first half. Perka's already had a season best. They keep it on the ground. Matthew Burgess comes off the left side, and Burgess will go for about 6 yards. And he has been very, very good today. Tuggle actually with the carry.
Tuggle's done a great job behind that offensive line, and something we spoke about earlier was filling these positions. The depth at running back and any position this Carroll College Fighting Saints team has is tremendous, but at running back specifically, Tuggle's done a great job all season long when the Saints have faced some injuries.
Out of Laramie, Wyoming. Elevation, 7,200 feet. Tuggle again. Tuggle's going to get the first down. Very close to the first down. Now, why do I know what the elevation is of Laramie, Wyoming? Because at the University of Wyoming football stadium, right outside the visiting locker room, they have a sign as the opposing team takes the field. Welcome to the highest elevation football stadium in the nation, 7,200 feet.
Right when you said that, I was like, why do you know that? But that is awesome. I need to put input stats like that or little nuggets of information.
It's going to be first down and 10. The Saints a couple of yards short. Play action. Pass is caught. Nice tackle on the play. Chris Ochoa, another reception for the Saints, his 8th. And that is more receptions for the freshman than he had all season. Coming into the game, he had just 7.
Perka's doing a great job of just getting that ball out quick and just letting him go make plays. You see how quick he is? He caught that ball on the line of scrimmage, still picked up 12 yards with just one blocker in front of him.
Chris Ochoa, the first receiver for the Saints this season to have more than 100 yards receiving. He's got 135. And Tuggle again gets spun out. Tuggle's going down with no gain on the play. 30-0. Saints out on top here. Boy, you're the College of Idaho. You're watching this game film, and you're thinking, boy, we really don't want to play these guys again. No way.
Peaking at the right time, looking really, really great. It's going to be an amazing game. I mean, you want to hope that both these teams win out for the rest of the year just so you have that Frontier Conference title showdown at the end of the season.
Ronthi is going to come into motion. It's going to be second down and 10 from the 42-yard line. Quarterback keep, and Perka slides for a gain of about 7 yards on that play. And, people ask, how was that game so close? The last time these two teams played, Eastern Oregon picked up their first win of the season last weekend against Northern. Well, Carroll almost gave that game away. 4 turnovers, and Perka had 3 interceptions. He was just 9 of 19 for 113 yards this afternoon, 15 of 23, 253 yards and 2 touchdowns. Tuggle again, and Tuggle will go nowhere, and now it's going to be 4th down Are they going to let Spencer Berger attempt a 50-yard field goal? I doubt it.
I don't think so. I think they're just going to play field position here and just try to pin Eastern Oregon deep. That was a huge stop for a defense that looked like they couldn't stop anything in the first half. So maybe this could be a little bit of a turning point for Eastern Oregon moving forward.
It's going to be 4th down and for the Saints. On 4th down this season, 2 of 7. 3 wide receivers to the left side for Jack Perka. They rush 3. Perka's going to run. Perka needs 5 more. Dives for the first down. Jack Perka on 4th down and 4. Picks up 6 and keeps the drive alive. First down number 20 for the Saints. Eastern Oregon with just 1.
This is something that he did last week and was very successful. You said 28 yards last week. Well, I don't think that counts when they take away some sack yardage because he did it felt like he ran for almost 60 to 70 yards last week. But your receivers aren't open, do it with your legs. That was a huge play on 4th down.
And Perka with 45 yards today. Tuggle with the carry. Another long sustaining drive. 9 minutes left to be played here in this third quarter. 30-0. The Saints out on top of the Mountaineers, and it's the second most points the Saints have scored all year. They beat Northern 48-3 a couple of weeks ago in a game that I announced on the turf at Mike Tillman Field up in Havre. And a new running back, Cormac Ben with the carry, 6-foot, 200-pounder out of Big Fork, Montana. Boy, they've had some success on the football field the last few years as well. It's going to be 3rd down and short for Carroll, 3rd down and a long yard.
Just like we talked about that depth at running back. That's the 4th running back to touch the ball today and have a successful carry for the Saints.
And now they bring the fullback in on short yardage situation. England is in. On 3rd down and a yard. Caught behind the line. And going down is Ben, and Ben did not get the first down as he was stopped by Preston. 45 tackles on the season. Colby Preston with a big tackle for a loss, and now it's 4th down. They've already completed on 4th down this drive.
4th and 2, they're definitely going to go for it. Clock running here, like you said, a long sustained drive. Interesting what they call up here. Maybe get Perk on the outside and let him throw the ball. It looks like they're coming in tight, though.
4th down and 2. Perka's going to roll the other direction. Pass is caught. The fullback, England, makes the catch. Move the chains. They go for it twice on 4th down on this drive, and they're successful both times.
On cue, just like we talked about, Perka getting to the outside, giving him time to find his receivers with a fullback actually that time. Pretty wide open. First down.
1st down and 10, Saints. They lead 30-0. Here in the 3rd. Perka. Handoff. Ben again. Ben goes for about 3. 6.5 left to be played here in the 3rd quarter. You know, that is a long drive back to La Grande, Oregon, especially when you lose.
Probably about 12 to 14 hours. And, if you lose a tough one, sometimes it's acceptable, right? But when you get blown out, it really, really stings just a little bit more.
Tight end, Carson Ochia into the right side on 2nd down and 7. And Perka with the handoff to Ben, another stop. Nice tackle for Preston. You got to wonder, Austin, are the Saints ever going to get scored on again in the near future? This has been incredible. We're now talking 11 quarters. They've not given up a touchdown.
just an adage to these defensive coaches and who work so hard all week long, all season long, all preseason, getting them to this point, making sure that they're firing on all cylinders, if you will, at the right time.
It's going to be 3rd down and 8. Perka, 16 of 24 in the game. Perka wants to throw on 3rd down, over the middle, and for the 3rd time this afternoon, Chris Achalla with a touchdown, and the Saints have scored again.
Jack Perka and that offensive line just doing a great job of being patient, letting this play develop, getting that freshman open, letting him use his beautiful route running skills to find him in the back of the end zone. Perka with a perfect ball to a Colshin, and wow, 36 points for the Saints. This is a special day for that offense.
Why not come up big on Senior Day? Spencer Berger out of Billingsworth, snap back, hold is down, kick is up, and the kick is good. 37-0. Saints out on top big.
So what did she do when you told?
That was a wedding gift.
From us.
See the bubbly side. Remember, that behind every broken plate is one less chore you totally hate.
Bublé's right.
Those things really sail, don't they?
Bubbly sparkling water.
A hit in the morning, another between class, after school, and more before bed. Vaping sucks you in quick. Not to mention all the chemicals and health problems everyone's talking about. That's why thousands of teens are ready to take back their life their own way with My Life, My Quit. When you sign up with us, you'll get a free and simple quit plan that makes it easier to stop vaping. Visit mylifemyquit.com or text Start My Quit to 36072.
Chevy Silverado. It's got the power you want and the capability you need to do the job, so you can get to the important work. Find new moments, find new roads. Get a $500 cash allowance on all 2022 Silverado pickups with a 2.7-liter turbo engine. Plus, now during truck season, get a $1,000 accessory allowance toward a new Chevy truck with accessories. See your Montana Chevy dealers.
Coming into this game this afternoon, the Saints did not have a wide receiver that had 100 yards in a game, and now the redshirt freshman, Chris Colchin, with 158 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Is that good?
Not bad. Hey, you still got a quarter and a half.
Who's to say he can't get more? You know, being that redshirt freshman, you know he's got those real fresh legs.
Whoa, big hit, still on his feet for Blake Davis, and he got spun around by Ben Held out of Great Falls High. Perka, season high for him. He's throwing for 271 yards, 17 of 25, and how about 22 first downs for the Saints of Carroll College, 426 yards, and the Mountaineers with just 40 yards of offense.
Colshin will get all of the credit, you know, behind player of the game, maybe play of the game, but the offensive line really deserves all the credit here for the Fighting Saints. They're giving Perka so much time, opening up big holes from the running game, which opens up a Colshin on the outside with a play-action pass. So it's been a big day for the Saints.
The carry, a gain of just a couple. You know, at one point, does Coach Purcell, you know, take his starters out and, you know, well done, guys, but, you know, we got a couple of games left and we got to stay healthy?
Well, I think that's what you're slowly starting to see already on the offensive side. The third string running back, fourth string running back. Protect your top 2 guys in Burgess and Kraft. I see Gary Warden on the sidelines currently, so you're going to see a lot of guys getting opportunities now.
And with the carry, new quarterback is in, Tanner Squeak, and penalty flag is down on one of the first this half. 4 minutes in, 19 seconds left. to be played. What a beautiful Saturday afternoon.
The offense is
Here in
always
Helena.
guilty. When you see them walking backwards, you know it's going to be holding against the offense.
Up next for Eastern Oregon, they're home against the College of Idaho, their final home game of the season. And then on November 12th, they'll play at Southern Oregon. And, last year they were 4-6. The year before they were 3-1. In 2016, they won 10 games as they went 10-3. A bit of a down year for the Mountaineers this season. It's going to be second down and a dozen. They're going to place 3 wide receivers to the right side. Carson is back in. Spurrier, the intended receiver, overthrew Malachi Spurrier. The 5'10", 180-pound sophomore out of Yakima came in as the leading receiver with 26 catches and 419 yards, and he has not had a catch today.
That defensive line has been getting pressure on the quarterback, no matter who's been playing quarterback for Eastern Oregon, not giving enough time for these receivers to even get open. He was open there, but that defensive line caused the overthrow with that pressure.
Mountaineers 0 for 7 on third down today, and this third and a dozen, and making the catch is Blake Davis, who's done an outstanding job, return man for the Mountaineers, but came up short there.
He took an absolute shot at the end of this play. The Carroll College Saints defense just doing a great job swarming. I don't think he saw 94 Garrett Kokab coming in quickly at that nose tackle position and just took an absolute shot. Another punt, and look who's on the field again for Eastern Oregon.
Ethan Cutler has had a interesting day, and he has had a lot of punts, and he gets that kickoff as well. And it's hit a Carroll player to free football, and I believe the Saints recover. The Saints have not turned the ball over once, turned it over 4 times the last time these two teams played. Saints up big, 36.
At Rocky Mountain Credit Union, we call this community home, just like you.
That's why we take a locally focused approach for our members.
Your financial success is our primary goal.
Whether you're refinancing your home,
buying a car,
starting a business,
or just need help with a checking or savings account,
we'll give you the financial tools you need to grow.
At Rocky Mountain Credit Union, we're here for all life's events, big and small.
Stop by your local branch or visit rmcu.net to learn more.
Not all tires are created equally. Some tires take 50 to 60 more feet to stop, and you don't need that on our Montana wintry roads. Stop by one of our 2 locations in Helena and let our knowledgeable team help you find the right tires for you, your family, and your vehicle this winter season. Point S Tire and Auto Service, keeping our roads safer 1 tire at a time. Make sure to ask about our best price tire match guarantee.
We are driven by an unquenchable desire for knowledge, for the truth that lay just outside our grasps. We are meant for more, made for more. We are unwilling to ignore that which calls to us, that which will transform us. With joy and curiosity, we will boldly find our path in a world of unknowns. At Carroll College, we are here for the adventure.
Late in the third quarter, Saints had the football back and the lead. 37-0. New running back out across near midfield on his first carry of the afternoon. And I'm going to let you tell us who that is.
That's Porkaya Joaquin. Man, that has been putting in a lot of time at practice and just waiting for his opportunity. He did a great job there, planting his foot in the ground, giving a little shimmy shake, and picking up about 8 to 10 yards for the first down.
And it's a first down, a gain of 11 on the play. First down and 10, short of midfield. And Perka is going to stay in at quarterback. Nope, new quarterback is in as well. That's Dagert. And loss on the play, well, boy, I talked about this earlier. When will they bring in the new players with the big lead with a couple of games left? And that is now.
I believe this is the entire second-string offense. The offensive line is also replaced too, so this would be very interesting. This is their chance. You know, when you're not that first-string player, this is what you've been waiting for all season long. Your opportunity to show your skill level. So this is exciting for them.
It's going to be second down on a dozen. Ryan Dagert is the new quarterback, and he is now. They keep it on the ground, a gain of about 7 yards, short of the first down. Dagert has only put the ball up twice all season. 2 for 2 for 45 yards, 94 seconds left to be played. Here in the third, and the Saints up big, 37-0.
Look at that offensive line, second string, getting some great push there, and you love seeing a running back that comes in fresh off the bench, running so hard, not afraid to lower that shoulder and try to gain some extra yards.
Boy, look at all the new players in here for the Saints. Luke Jensen from Anaconda in at wide receiver. The Saints will take a timeout with 66 seconds left to be played here in the first half. And the Saints out on top of the Mountaineers, 37-0.
I'm a design build contractor. Besides getting a permit, we make sure to call 811 before starting every job. It's difficult to tell where Northwestern Energy's natural gas pipelines are exactly. They could be right where we're digging, even if the homeowner doesn't use natural gas. And obviously, we don't want to cut off someone's power or cause an explosion. My crew is like my family. I want to keep them safe. If calling 811 can save their lives, that's an easy call to make.
We've been around for a while now, 100 years in fact, and in that time, we've weathered some storms, seen some changes. And while that's no small feat, at Opportunity Bank, we don't measure success in time. We measure it by the impact we've made. We measure it by the success of the families, communities, and businesses we've served. After all, to us, there's no better investment than the people of Montana. We're celebrating our 100th year in business, and we're calling it the Big 100. It's a celebration of this community, the good people who live here, and the businesses we've helped build across 100 years. We've been serving Montanans to the very best of our ability for the past century. And this year, we plan to tell 100 stories, share 100 lessons, and give 100 gifts. Here's to the next 100 years.
Carroll College Saints have a complete new offense, but wait a minute, Andrew Carter is still in. At center, Ryan Dagert is your new quarterback. Dagert wants to throw for just the third time all season. Pass is complete. Porkaya, and that's going to be close to a first down for Carroll College.
How much are they going to trust the backup quarterback here? You see him just check down a little screenplay. The offensive line does a great job. Again, just look at that blocking out in front. As a coach, though, you want that running back to take that ball right up the field. Don't go side to side. Gain those yards and pick up that first down.
First down and 10 in Mountaineers territory. 23 first downs this afternoon. Porkaya right up the middle, a gain of about 3, and that should take us to quarter number 4. And, boy, you know, how impressive was it last weekend when the Saints shut out nationally ranked Rocky, and now they've went another quarter, 11 quarters in a row without giving up a touchdown as the third quarter comes to an end. And the Saints lead over the Mountaineers 37-0 as we head to quarter number 4.
Since before the birth of America, the Army National Guard has stood ready to answer the call to defend and protect the nation. Army National Guard soldiers share in an enduring commitment to serve their state in times of crisis and defend their nation in times of conflict. The men and women of the Army National Guard serve part-time in their own communities and have a stake in its continued security. To learn all about the benefits of becoming a soldier in the Army National Guard, visit nationalguard.com.
Your estimated wait time is 45 minutes.
Are you tired of being on hold? Then don't leave your money with strangers. Call the people you know at Ascent Bank.
When you work with us, you work with community members who make time for you.
Our goal is to strengthen relationships and give back to our community.
We always work to be part of our community. So if that's important to you,
don't leave your money with strangers. Call the people you know at Ascent Bank.
Ascent Bank, equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Not all tires are created equally. Some tires take 50 to 60 more feet to stop, and you don't need that on our Montana wintry roads. Stop by one of our 2 locations in Helena and let our knowledgeable team help you find the right tires for you, your family, and your vehicle this winter season. Point S Tire and Auto Service, keeping our roads safer one tire at a time. Make sure to ask about our best price tire match guarantee.
It's one of the best traditions in small college football, and between the third and the fourth quarter here at Carroll College, they sing Sweet Caroline, and everybody on their feet, and they've got a lot to be happy about in this game, and the Saints keep it on the ground again. Porkaya with the carry, and it's going to be a long third down coming up for Carroll.
The only disappointing part with the song was last week. You know, when we're all here, it's freezing cold. I expect everyone else to be there too. So the defensive line, of Eastern Oregon gets a great push back there. Maybe can get a big stop here on third down as we got an injured player on the field.
Boy, what a busy time. We're going to take a timeout. Fourth quarter just underway. Saints up big.
Dude. Fire. Grill master, huh?
Burgers, better with Pepsi.
We are driven by an unquenchable desire for knowledge, for the truth that lay just outside our grasps. We are meant for more, made for more. We are unwilling to ignore that which calls to us, that which will transform us. With joy and curiosity, we will boldly find our path in a world of unknowns. At Carroll College, we are here for the adventure.
Chevy Silverado. It's got the power you want and the capability you need to do the job, so you can get to the important work. Find new moments, find new roads. Get a $500 cash allowance on all 2022 Silverado pickups with a 2.7-liter turbo engine. Plus, now during truck season, get a $1,000 accessory allowance toward a new Chevy truck with accessories. See your Montana Chevy dealers.
So many flavors of dew. I am thirsty. I must get a dew.
Cut! He's hypnotized again!
Do the dew.
It's going to be third down and 7 for the Saints. The line of scrimmage, the 38-yard line. Backup quarterback Ryan Dager. He is in, 6'2", 185-pounder, play action. Ryan's going to roll right, throws on the run. Pass is caught to England, the tight end, and that's going to be very close to a first down. Austin, I got to be honest with you. You know, Saturday night, as I was returning from Miles City, I was checking the scores, and I was more surprised that Carroll shut out nationally ranked Rocky 24-0 than Montana Western beating the College of Idaho. But now it's like this is one of the very best teams in NAIA college football right now.
I can see why you would be more surprised because Western came into this as the number 1 ranked team to win the Frontier Conference, right? But they've underperformed. So that actually shocked me a little more, but I think Carroll has done a great job today proving that last week wasn't just a fluke. That's a top-ranked offense along with a top-ranked defense in Rocky that they shut out 24-0. So this Saints defense is the real deal.
Win for Carroll College, and today, I mean, what a dominating performance this has been for the Saints, and their starters get a much-needed rest here as they keep it on the ground. Poor Kaya, and he gets about 3 yards. Carroll College, great success they've had since 2000 under Mike Van Diest with 6 national titles in 8 years, and they play against Southern Oregon on the road next week, and then they will wrap up the season against the College of Idaho, and on October 1st here, they lost 31-20. You know, they have to play the College of Idaho twice, but most teams don't.
Who makes the schedule? Who does all of these things? We have some gripes to talk about with the NAIA and the schedule makers of these football conferences.
For Kai with a short gain, you know, the perfect solution would be if we had more teams in the Frontier Conference where you don't have to play the same opponent more than once during the season. It's going to be 3rd down and 9 for Carroll, 25 first downs this afternoon for the Saints, just 1 for Eastern Oregon. And boy, I look down at my stats. I don't even have a number 24 for Carroll College.
We are getting down to the bottom of the depth chart here, which is great to see. That just goes to show how successful that offense was today. Wow, what a catch.
With the pass, and Ryan Richmond juggled the football, and he was able to make the catch. Wow, that was impressive. 4th down.
Backup quarterback does a great job here of doing looking through all of his reads, finds his running back at the last second who makes an athletic play, get up there and able to hold on to the ball there. It's going to be 4th and short. Let's see what they do here.
Well, Dangert has not had an incompletion all year. He's a perfect 4 for 4, 2 for 2 coming into this game, and 2 for 2 here this afternoon. On 4th down, they keep it on the ground, and poor Kaya is going to come up short, and the Mountaineers will get the football back. Boy, there's a lot of football left here at Carroll College. 11:43 left to go in this game, and the Saints up big, 37-0. They led 14-0 at the end of one at the break. Out on top, 30-0. The Saints with 363 yards of offense. In that first half, the Mountaineers with 37 yards of offense in that first half, and the Mountaineers with just 7 yards of offense in the second half. And a little bit of a problem in the backfield there with their new quarterback. Tanner Squeak was unable to field the football, went down, a loss of about 3.
A little bit of a bobbled snap here, and he knows that defensive line is coming because they want to protect this lead. They still have 4 out of their 5 starters in there on the Carroll College defensive line.
Anthony Peterson back at running back for the Mountaineers, play action. And Tanner will roll right, takes a hit, and Tanner's going down, going to be sacked at about the 6-yard line.
Micah Ons coming in on the cornerback blitz. I mean, he really showed off some speed there, unblocked on the corner. Offensive lineman can't get to him. First one on the tackle. Saints do a great job at rallying to the football. Huge loss.
He was on that Billings senior team that went back-to-back unbeaten with back-to-back state champions. 3rd down and long. How about 3rd down and 23? And Tanner, the quarterback's going to keep it on the ground, and Tanner picks up about half of what he's needed.
I think you're just trying to pick up some yardage there to give your punter some room. Although we have seen he's a big-time athlete, but you're just trying to give some space for the punt unit. And the Saints get the ball back again.
Cutler back at the 3-yard line for the punt. He's been a busy man on the afternoon. He'll roll right, gets a kick off. It's a beauty, spiral kick, and fielded at about the 38-yard line. Well, if you're a senior, you've been in this program for 4, 5, maybe even 6 years. What a way to go out. We got a timeout. Saints lead 37-0.
In the Army National Guard, you'll serve part-time to be ready to respond at all times. You'll train to master the skills and equipment used to keep the nation secure and its enemies on the run. You'll learn to be a leader and a member of a team. Become part of a time-honored tradition of vigilance and selfless service. Find your adventure at NationalGuard.com.
Those moments where banking is the last thing on your mind? Yeah, those are our favorite moments too. Bring on the day. First Interstate, built for you.
Get an edge in buying your home by getting pre-qualified for your mortgage today.
We are driven by an unquenchable desire for knowledge, for the truth that lay just outside our grasps. We are meant for more, made for more. We are unwilling to ignore that which calls to us, that which will transform us. With joy and curiosity, we will boldly find our path in a world of unknowns. At Carroll College, we are here for the adventure.
9.5 left to be played. Saints with the football. It's going to be first down and 10. A lot of new players in, and the Saints with a new quarterback. Quinn Stamps is the quarterback. Game 2 of the World Series tonight between Houston and Philadelphia, and the World Series is going to end in the month of November. I'm so old. I remember the World Series ended in October. I remember when they played games in the middle of the day. And when I was in grade school, our teacher used to bring a TV to the classroom, and I thought, boy, there's nothing cooler than this, watching the World Series on a black and white television. And back to throw, Quinn Stamps unloads, and he throws that one away. Of course, Billings, Dave McNally, the only pitcher to hit a Grand Slam home run in the World Series. 20-game winner for Baltimore. 8:51 left to go in this one. You know, Montana back in the 70s, we were a basketball state. Grizzly game, Bobcat games, they would actually draw more for a basketball game than they did for football. And the success the Grizzlies have had, the Bobcats and Carroll, well, we've turned into a very, very good football state. Stamps, what a pass. Move the chains, first down. The third different quarterback in this game for Carroll College, and Quinn Belcher with the reception from Helena Capital. How big is that going to be? Capital Helena High if they meet in the state championship.
Oh, it's going to be huge. I mean, this was one of the biggest crosstown games that arguably this city has ever seen this year, with both teams being undefeated. The city can only hope.
That's great for high school football. Ben with the carry, a gain of just a couple. I remember when Senior and Skyview met in the state championship in Billings, and they unlocked the gates 60 minutes before kickoff, and about 5 minutes later, there was not a seat to be found in the entire place. And Boy, Vigilante Stadium would be rocking if those two teams meet in the title game. That would be great for Helena. It's going to be second down and 8. 3 wide receivers split out to the right side. Stamps is your quarterback, and they keep it on the ground. Ben with the carry, a loss of about 1. 7:37 left to be played. 37-0 our score here.
I think that was a bit of a missed assignment by the offensive line because Tyler Exline just came right down on the Cormac Ben. Created a huge loss for the Eastern Oregon defense.
Split out wide to that left side is Quinn Belcher. It's going to be third down and long for the Saints from midfield. Third down and 8. Stamps flushed out. Stamps will get out of bounds. No gain. Fourth down coming up. It's going to be a rare punt for the Saints in his football game, and the Saints have had very few punts today. Their offense has been spectacular, and we also have a new punter in the game as well.
Everybody's getting their
Brock
opportunities.
Pelley is in to punt. 6.5 left. Just got that punt off. Fair catch is called for. You ask, we're going to take a timeout. 37-0. Saints out on top big.
Today's been good. I'm getting there.
People with mental health disorders who smoke can die 8 to 25 years earlier than the general population.
No more sitting on the fence. It's time to quit smoking.
Smoking can interfere with recovery and make psychiatric medicines less effective.
I'm taking the right steps toward my physical and mental well-being.
The Quit Line can help for a happier and healthier tomorrow.
I'm finally getting there.
Chevy Silverado. It's got the power you want and the capability you need to do the job, so you can get to the important work. Find new moments, find new roads. Get a $500 cash allowance on all 2022 Silverado pickups with a 2.7-liter turbo engine. Plus, now during truck season, get a $1,000 accessory allowance toward a new Chevy truck with accessories. See your Montana Chevy dealers.
A1 Rentals, serving Helena since 1959, offers rental items for the do-it-yourselfer to major construction companies. Backhoes, floor care, lawn equipment, automotive, concrete work, generators, heaters, electrical, drywall, and more. We can help with any job, no matter how big or small. And don't forget about our party rentals and retail store at Parties Plus. Planning an event? We can help. From tents to catering to decorations. A1 Rentals and Parties Plus on Cedar Street in Helena.
Carroll College Saints, 26 first downs in the game. Over 300 passing yards. 485 on the ground at Eastern Oregon. Parker Robinson out of the Wildcat for a gain of just a couple for the Mountaineers. They have their final home game of the season next week as they host the College of Idaho back on September 27th. They got shut out 41-0. If you're wondering when's the last time the Saints shut out the Mountaineers, October 14th, 2006, when the Saints won 34-0. And Robinson out of the Wildcat again for a gain of just a couple. It's going to be third down and 6 coming up for the Mountaineers.
Your preparation is amazing.
And we got injury timeout. And how about a quick Rocky story time? Dwayne would have started as a true freshman at the University of Miami, but there was a player in front of him that was outstanding. That was Warren Sapp. Sapp would become one of the greatest defensive players in college football. Dwayne, he had a bit of a troubled past, arrested several times before he was 17. Plus his high school years, well, he spent that at 4 different schools in 4 different states. But Dwayne found a home at the University of Miami. He was even on that team that won the national championship in 1991. Following college, Dwayne played briefly in the Canadian Football League. Then he decided to get into the family business, professional wrestling. And you might say that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson made a name for himself as a professional wrestler and a movie star.
You can add on to that story. He is a global icon. He's one of the biggest.
I think it's like one of the biggest. He gets more money for a movie than anybody, doesn't he?
Absolutely.
Almost as much as what Austin Parr makes as a sportscaster.
I wish.
And on the keeper, Parker Robinson with the carry. And that's going to be very close to a Mountaineers first down. And it is. It's just their second first down of the afternoon. Under 5 minutes left to be played in the football game. In a couple of weeks, the Bobcats will host the Grizzlies in Bozeman. That's one of the oldest rivalries west of the Mississippi. Parker Robinson started the game at running back. Now he's a quarterback. Over the middle, pass is caught, and that's another first down and a gain of about 16 on that play. Jonah Blackman, the 6'4", 195-pound sophomore out of Boise, Idaho, with the catch. So back-to-back first downs after having just one throughout this game. And the Saints' second-team defense in the game right now.
Did you say that was a running back?
Well, yeah.
That was an absolute dart. One of the best passes we've seen all day long to that wide receiver. That was impressive.
Their third different quarterback that the Mountaineers have used in this game. Parker's got 7 carries for 26 yards, and he's 1 for 2 through the air now. It's going to be second down and 9, 3.5 left as they work from the 45-yard line. Peterson's going to come into motion, and Parker with the carry. You know, I'm often asked, Austin, what the most exciting Cat Grizz game ever played. 128. I can't tell you what's the most exciting, but the most significant was a game played in 1941, back in the days they used to play in Butte. On the cover of the program that day was not a photo of a player, but a photo of a soldier. Everybody knew our nation was about to go to war. And in that first half, Bill Zupan for the Bobcats would score. First time in 9 years the Cats had scored against the Grizzlies. Going deep, passes incomplete, no flag. Well, in that second half, Iso Naranchi of Butte would lead the Grizzlies to another win. They're 8th straight against the Bobcats. 33 days after that game was played, the Japanese would bomb Pearl Harbor. Our country would go to war. 12 months later, Iso Naranchi was killed in World War II. Sadly, 5 of the 11 who started for the Grizzlies gave their life for our country during that great war. For the Bobcats, the sacrifice was much worse. 10 of the 11 who started in that 41 game did not make it home. Fourth down complete, another first down for the Mountaineers. There was no Cat Grizz game in 1942, 43, 45, 46. The game resumed in 47. The Bobcats would win for the first time in several years. And leading the Cats to victory, Bill Zupan, the only starter from that 41 team that survived World War II. Another first down for Eastern Oregon. First down and 10 from the 42-yard line, almost sacked. And Robinson runs for his life, gets out of bounds. And you got to wonder, Parker should have been their quarterback maybe a little earlier in this game.
I was thinking the same thing myself. Maybe they should run the entire offense through him. They might have something moving forward. But let's go back to that story. Wow, an amazing story, and I feel so blessed to be beside you today, and you being able to share the knowledge that you have, and I appreciate that. Thank you.
You know, Veterans Day is coming up, and I always tell people you don't have to wait until Veterans Day to thank a veteran. When you see them, thank them each and every time. It's going to be 2nd down and 10 from the 43-yard line for the Mountaineers. 2:08 left to be played, trying to avoid a shutout. And wow, the Saints not giving up anything. Kokop's still in the game?
That is him.
Wow. Eastern Oregon, well, they were shut out against the College of Idaho 41-0, the only time they were shut out this season. And the last time the Saints shut them out, October 14th, 2006, when Carroll won 34-0. It's going to be 3rd down and 13 coming up for the Mountaineers. They've got 4 first downs on the afternoon, and 3 of those 4 came on this drive, led by Parker Robinson, the running back, now quarterback, who may be their starting quarterback, and another pass completion and another first down. Jonah Blackman makes the catch. 1:12 left. You don't want to be shut out, Austin, and boy, the Mountaineers are doing everything they can to avoid the shutout, and a player is hurt. A Mountaineer player is down.
That's Blackman who caught
on
the
pass. Carroll College sidelines, and that's Blackman who is down. And I'd like to thank our affiliates for today's game: SWX in Billings, Bozeman Butte, Great Falls, Helena, Kalispell, Missoula, Spokane, Coeur d'Alene, Yakima, and the Tri-Cities, and all across America on the Carroll College YouTube stream. We're happy to have you enjoying this game with us. Rocky Erickson alongside Austin Parr on a beautiful Saturday afternoon here in Helena. Senior Day, just 1:12 left, and the Saints are trying to put together their 2nd straight shutout, and they're trying to go 3 games, 12 quarters, without giving up a touchdown. And, Austin, you can do some research this week, and I don't think there's another college football team in the nation that can say they haven't given up a touchdown the last 3 games.
Even
at any level.
At any level. I completely agree. I mean, give all the credit, too. This is the 2nd string defense in there as well. I mean, yes, a couple of the defensive linemen of the starters are still in there, but give these guys credit, too. That just pays adage to the coaching staff and the depth that they have with this program. This is absolutely impressive.
I realize, maybe Perka or a freshman wide receiver will be a player of the game, but if I had to vote, I mean, it would be between the defensive line or the offensive line of Carroll College, and an offensive line does not get a lot of credit. But, I mean, the time that Perka had to throw the football, the holes that they made for the running game, it was very, very impressive. And the Mountaineers, boy, they want a touchdown, folks. They take another timeout. They do not want to be shut out in this game.
I'd vote for the offensive line, me personally, just because, like you said, they don't get enough credit. But the amount of holes that they made today for that running game, which is what set up that passing game for Jack Perka, you have to give them credit. And maybe we'll throw up the entire offensive line as the player of the game.
That's not a bad idea. Just one score for the Saints in the second half as they went with, the second string for much of the way. At the end of one, it was 14-0 Carroll College. At the break, it was 30-0, and neither team has scored here in the fourth. It was 37-0 at the end of 3. And the Mountaineers of Eastern Oregon, 2nd down and 3 from the 20-yard line. Parker Robinson wants to throw. Parker in trouble. Parker will run. Oh, a nice run to the 13-yard line. And, boy, you got to give Eastern Oregon a lot of credit. They take another timeout here. They really want to put some points on the scoreboard. And you know, Austin, they're in field goal range right now.
I don't think they're looking for the 3, though. They definitely want to punch this ball in the end zone. And this is what you and I talked about at halftime. What was the coach saying? Well, this is that heart we were talking about. They are trying their absolute hardest to get in the end zone here, calling timeouts, coaching staff giving them the opportunity. We got a running back playing quarterback right now. And you could see his elusiveness on that play, which is what gave them the first down. They're knocking on the doorstep.
We've seen 7 different players combine take a snap from center in this football game.
I think that's some would call that new age offense, but I've never seen something like that before. 7 different players take a snap. So you see some
I
schools
think you're going to go on the road with the Saints in the postseason, and let's hope it's not to Iowa in round 1 against Morningside. That would not be fair for anybody.
I think for the Saints, if they do win out and get that big win against College of Idaho, they have to be at least top 15 in the NAIA.
Going to the end zone, incomplete, almost a touchdown. Wow.
Look at this
That
pass
is that
by this running
Blackman?
back.
He was the one that was injured, and he came back on. Boy, how impressive is that? Jonah Blackman, 6'4", 195-pound junior out of Boise, 48 seconds left, and I think that the Mountaineers have 1 timeout left. It's going to be 2nd down and 10, and they dropped the football. Robertson dropped the football, and who got the recovery? If the Saints recover, they're going to get a shutout here. But I think the Mountaineers have recovered their own fumble, and Coach Camp has taken his 3rd and final timeout, or have they?
Clock is not running. I think they did take the timeout. He just took his eye off of it. He had a wide receiver coming across. I think they were going to do an end around or fake the end around on that play, but he just took his eye off the snap. The first thing you were taught, you got to watch that football all the way in.
No timeout, under 30 seconds left. It's going to be 3rd down. The line of scrimmage, the 20-yard line. Robinson got to go to the end zone. Incomplete. Wow. And his intended receiver was Drew Reeves. And now it's come down to this. 4th down. The Saints trying to go 2 straight games with a shutout. Trying to go 3 games without giving up a touchdown. You got to wonder here. I mean, why not kick a field goal? Why not avoid the shutout? All right. Cutler is on. He's 5 of 9 on the year. Good for 35. This to avoid the shutout. From 37 yards, the kick is up. It's got the distance. Yes. And no shutout. But they still haven't given up a touchdown in 3 games.
Which is just as impressive.
And Eastern Oregon avoids the shutout. And our game of the week, sponsored by the Montana Chevy dealers. Also brought to you by Opportunity Bank, Northwest Energy, Montana Tobacco Quit Line at 1-800-QUIT-NOW, and Pepsi. Rocky Erickson and Austin Parr, a 37-yard field goal with 13 seconds left, avoids the shutout for the Mountaineers. But still, on your Frontier Conference wrap, you can say the Saints have not given up a touchdown in 3 games.
Which is equally as impressive. This was actually a very close call on the field goal here. Just snuck it in. Hit our point Point S sponsorship out there in the backside of the end zone. That kick could have been good from about 45, 50 yards. He got a hold of that one.
The Carroll College Saints came up big on Senior Day, and they are, without question, one of the hottest teams in NAIA football in the entire nation. They're going to travel to Southern Oregon, and then they're going to wrap up this season at the College of Idaho. And if the College of Idaho loses today, then wow. The Saints are in the driver's seat for the Frontier Conference Championship and a playoff. Hey, maybe Marty will, Duncan Kraft on the return, maybe Marty will send us on the road to do a first-round playoff game.
That would be amazing. And don't count out Southern Oregon. They've put up a great performance the last couple weeks. They eliminated Western from the postseason a couple weeks ago.
I wonder if Kent Paulson would let us use the Frontier Conference private jet for us to go to that first playoff game. I haven't seen the jet. I've heard rumors.
I've heard rumors as well.
Final play of the game.
Victory formation for the Saints.
One snap, take a knee. This one's in the books. And the Saints will go to 6-2 on the season. Eastern Oregon will fall to 1-8 on the year. The Saints win. The Saints win it big. 37-3, our final score.
Not all tires are created equally. Some tires take 50 to 60 more feet to stop. And you don't need that on our Montana wintry roads. Stop by one of our 2 locations in Helena and let our knowledgeable team help you find the right tires for you, your family, and your vehicle this winter season. Point S Tire and Auto Service, keeping our roads safer one tire at a time. Make sure to ask about our best price tire match guarantee.
Montana. We're proud to say it's where we live and where we work. We're so much more than pretty scenery. We are all hardworking, resilient, and resourceful. The vibe is different here. Stockman Bank, Montana's brand of banking.
Big win for the Saints of Carroll College as they get by the Mountaineers of Eastern Oregon. 37-3, the final score. It was 30-0 at the break. 26 first downs for the Saints, just 6 for Eastern Oregon, and most of that in the final drive. They only had 1 first down through 3 quarters. A season high 485 yards of offense. And our player of the game?
Chris Akolshin, the redshirt freshman. 9 catches, 158 yards. Offensive line gave Perka all the time in the world to find him. 3 touchdowns, averaging over 17 yards a catch. That is an impressive day for a freshman wide receiver.
And remember, the Saints before today did not have a receiver with a 100-yard game. And now our play of the game, and I believe this is the 50-yard touchdown with 1:32 left to be played as Perka hits Chris for the long gain into the end zone for his second of 3 touchdowns. And, boy, what an impressive afternoon for the Saints. Offensively, almost 500 yards. Defensively, they gave up just 95 yards to the Mountaineers.
It's just impressive. It is almost flawless football. I mean, they did give up 3 points in the end there, but between that defensive line and the offensive line, that's where it starts. It's the battle in the trenches, and the Saints won that. And they've dominated for the past 3 weeks, and that allows that offense to sink, right? And the defensive line, I mean, what else can you ask? They haven't allowed a touchdown in over 12 quarters like you were talking about.
Very, very impressive. Saints win big. We'll take a final break, come back, and wrap things up. The Saints win it 37-3.
We've been around for a while now, 100 years in fact, and in that time, we've weathered some storms, seen some changes. And while that's no small feat, at Opportunity Bank, we don't measure success in time. We measure it by the impact we've made. We measure it by the success of the families, communities, and businesses we've served. After all, to us, there's no better investment than the people of Montana. We're celebrating our 100th year in business, and we're calling it the Big 100. It's a celebration of this community, the good people who live here, and the businesses we've helped build across 100 years. We've been serving Montanans to the very best of our ability for the past century. And this year, we plan to tell 100 stories, share 100 lessons, and give 100 gifts. Here's to the next 100 years.
I'm a design-build contractor. Besides getting a permit, we make sure to call 811 before starting every job. It's difficult to tell where Northwestern Energy's natural gas pipelines are exactly. They could be right where we're digging, even if the homeowner doesn't use natural gas. And obviously, we don't want to cut off someone's power or cause an explosion. My crew is like my family. I want to keep them safe. If calling 811 can save their lives, that's an easy call to make.
If I'm the coaching staff at Southern Oregon and I'm watching this game tape, I mean, how do you defend against the Saints right now?
I think, honestly, you got to bring pressure and bring a lot. Because as we saw today, that offensive line gave Perka all the time in the world, and he's a great quarterback when he has time. He can use his legs. He can find that freshman wide receiver, and don't forget about Tony Collins out there on the outside as well.
An impressive win for Carroll College, their 5th win in the last 6 weeks as they head to Southern Oregon. For Austin Parr, Rocky Erickson, the Saints win. They win it big, 37-3.